6 for the Maniac. Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. Yes, sir.
Oh, the freaking double time.
Miles Turner.
Yeah.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, happy Wednesday to you. Let's see if we can keep you updated on a lot of stuff that will turn out to be absolutely nonsensical. That's just the way that it is. We talked to Ryan Carr, the VP player personnel of the Pacers yesterday, and I said, "Is anybody at all ever tell you the truth?" So I guess the winner you're going to find out, or everybody always, I shouldn't say everybody, but those that write and cover the NBA normally have to go through some really bogus reading and sounding, grade card, report card, and these guys don't want to do them any more than most want to read them and put any validity to it. But I guess you get an A on the report card if you lie the best, and ultimately you get what you're looking for in this. So the update here is and this is Wojnarowski, and you get him. It is like double barrel action everywhere coming at you from all these different angles. I have not looked at the winning percentage of accuracy for Wojnarowski. I guess it's just assumed that most of the time he is the guy that gets it and gets it accurately. So the latest there is that the Pacers more than likely will stay at 6. That was for Wojnarowski. And if the Pacers end up staying at 6, Mathurin, Daniels be the pick at 6? Because I'm just assuming right now that Murray's going to be gone. And I think Murray, it's interesting, because when we first started talking about this draft, some people said, hey, I hope that such and such is gone so you don't have to worry with feeling forced into drafting them. Some people said that about Jaden Ivey because of the Purdue connection, not because of the Purdue-IU relation, but because of the Purdue connection. Some people said that about Ivy. Most people said that about Holmgren. And now a lot of people are saying that about Murray. Want to know why you say? Here's why. Is because everybody has been force-fed hey, look at this guy's age, and facepalm city. Look at the guy's age. This is what I hate too. He is what he is. He's good right now, but go with this. All that stuff is now seeped in. Yeah, plus the fact that it looks like Murray is going to go before 6. But that's where we are right now. That it looks like, according to Wojnarowski, the Pacers will stay at 6. So you have to ask yourself right now, where's the reach on this thing? And Mathurin seems like a guy that would be there and that they would take. Ryan Carr talked about him yesterday, liking what he has to offer. Athletically gifted. Bulldogish. All great descriptions in categories in which this team needs. Here's what I would have to ask you. I don't know if this is going to be transformed into a Connecticut Water question of the day, but I'd have to ask you this. Would you rather go with Mathurin here, or would you want to see them? Because there's been so much talk about Dyson Daniels, and I would have to defer to Ryan. Hell, I'll defer to you because I didn't watch the G League, and I didn't see him play for the Ignite or whatever he was on. Everybody says he's incredibly talented, but clearly you look at his three-point shooting percentage, and it was a struggle. The dude a year ago didn't shoot at a lick. And I'm sure that probably will get much better. But is that a reach going for Daniels at 6? That a reach going for Daniels at 6. Let's just say, for example, if it's Matherin or Daniels, where would your lean be here? And I know it sounds weird because all of a sudden I'm breaking away from Murray, but it does seem like Murray is going to go before the Pacers select if, again, Wojnarowski is accurate and they stay at 6.
I think if it's between Matherin and Daniels, it's not even a discussion in my head. I would take Matherin 10 times out of 10. Daniels' inability to shoot the three, he shot 27% from 3 in the G League last year, would scare the crap out of me. Matherin.
I think that, for example, if the Pacers, and this has also been dropped around informationally, if the Pacers were able to go 6-10, for example, if they can drop Brogdon off at the station in D.C. and get number 10, and Daniels is on the board until 10, I think everybody would be satisfied with that. As long as, you're getting them both and you're getting more of a known, somebody that you have actually seen in Matherin, then I think that you would be very accepting of Daniels. I don't know how accepting you will be at number 6. That I doubt a great deal. It has been said, and we asked Ryan Carr this yesterday. It has been said that, and I think this was Bob Kravitz that wrote about this in The Athletic. I'll give Bob full credit for it. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was him. But he had mentioned that Pacer folks had suggested maybe that was an all-timer. Now, here's what you have to keep in mind. Like Bob had that, this was one of the best workouts we have ever seen. And you guys remember when I asked Ryan Carr yesterday what was the best workout he'd ever seen? Do you guys remember who he named? Marshawn Brooks. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And listen, as we're talking about how much truth is being told anywhere, you cannot rely upon it. So it's interesting conversationally. It's interesting to bring it up, but I don't think you do Daniels at 6. I think if you end up getting back up in there, and to me, I think it'd be a great night. If you go 6-10, I think everybody around here would be satisfied. Now, again, it depends on how you go 6-10. But I think everybody would be satisfied if you could go 6-10 while also unloading Brogdon. That's why yesterday and that whole rumor regarding the Lakers didn't make any sense. I think that you still want to try to build with young talent. You're not bringing in, even if he's not going to play a second here, and you get the vaunted cap space. For example, yesterday the Westbrook and Horton Tucker and the 2026 first-round pick. I mean, there are a variety of reasons why that shouldn't be appealing. Cap space sounds wonderful, but we have talked to Kevin Pritchard before, and he has said this is a tough sell here. Sometimes you might be able to have all the cap space in the world and not get what you want. And that's problematic. I think, to me, what you try to do with Brogdon is you try to flip that thing around, and, if it's a player, young player, but certainly a draft selection, something that you can build on. Something where you can see, and a lot of people do agree with me on this, the whole turnaround time. I mean, when you're thinking about it, clock is ticking on Kevin Pritchard. You look at the amount of money that you think Rick Carlisle wants to go through another couple of seasons? Do you go that far down to build it back up? I have said this before. How long are you willing to wait? And it's easy to sit here and say right now, yeah, I've got all the time in the world. Or you could try to be funny about it and say, well, I've been waiting since 1973 in the ABA. But how long are you willing to wait? So you looked at that deal yesterday, and we poked holes in it on the show, and you could even do it further. It didn't make any sense. as I've told you as well, so many of these things that are drawn up are to benefit the big market team or the more notable team, like the Lakers. Okay, how can this deal completely benefit the Lakers? And, okay, so who are we going to throw in that's going to completely screw them? Oh, yeah, the Pacers. Throw them in. You know how people always come up with, especially with their own team, these incredible trade options that completely does not benefit the other team? Where the other team would have to be outside their mind to ever make such a judgment call in a trade? That's what it's like. All right, so how can the Lakers unload the now unwanted and the price tag that is Westbrook? How can they unload this? And who's a prime example of you really don't care what happens to them, so utilize them? And who's got some leverage? Who's got some options out there? Oh, yeah, by the way, that's the Pacers. That goes all the way back to that whole rumor with Phoenix. The Bill Simmons rumor with Phoenix regarding DeAndre Ayton, which kind of looks like he's going to stay there now, at least last check. Things all over the place. But what benefits them, the other team, the Lakers, the most, is what it's going to come down to. This is going to be good coming up. This is going to be good theater tomorrow night. I'm kind of curious in a way, and this is very a slep-rockish attitude that I'm bringing up here, but I'm curious in a way, what makes you happy compared to disappointing? Mathurin make you happy? Mathurin make you happy over Murray? Would Murray make you happy? Would trading up, would that possibility make you happy? If they just sit at 6 and nothing happens, what happens if we go through the rest of tonight and then into tomorrow and Brogdon is still on the team? Will that be disappointing to you? Some of you would suggest that if Turner's still on the team, that would be disappointing to you. Again, as I've mentioned before, I do think nobody's suggesting that you're going to bump back into the postseason next year, but I think you have to have a relative expedited timetable of being good. Nobody's going to sit around here forever. And you can be cynical about it and say, well, I've been waiting since 1973. But, I mean, really, you haven't. They've had good teams. They've had Eastern Conference, championship series teams. Never reached the top. So you really haven't been sitting around since 1973 waiting on it. But I tell you this, it is much different thinking that you have a chance going into a season than going into a season, even with a fresh new look, like a fresh coat of paint. And going into a season and then realizing that the 25-win season a year ago is probably going to be mirrored this year. That does not give you a great deal of motivation to care too much. That's why I tell you it's easier, much easier to say that right now. Evan Sidery follows stuff. He gets this from Brian Windhorst. The Knicks have been unwilling to include the number 11 pick in a trade for Malcolm Brogdon. That was another option. He said Brian Windhorst had said that. Here's what's amazing. Kyle alluded to this last night on Twitter, that all you really got to do is follow Evan Sidery, who's on our show all the time, because he not only listens to our show, but he also does a great job of breaking down all the other ones. What everybody else is saying. Like this, Jeremy Sohan receiving serious interest from the Pacers. Quote, I've been seen by the physician, their psychologist, so I feel like the interest is there, and I can't wait to see what happens. Sohan could be in play if Indiana is able to move up using Malcolm Brogdon. Now, a lot of folks think that, Brogdon and the number 10 overall with Washington's in play. But as I told you a moment ago, has been talked about that maybe number 11 with the Knicks no longer is in play. And then how all this Kyrie Irving drama plays into it. At some point, I guess you would have to ask yourself, and I know that he's a terrific basketball player, but you don't see it enough. You get more of the soap opera, more of the drama than you do actually winning basketball. So do you really want to mess with it? And now you have Kyrie Irving kind of hedging his leverage on, well, you know what? If you don't bend to my needs, then Kevin Durant's not going to actively recruit, and he's going to want out, and then you're going to have a big bucket of nothing. At some point, you just got to say, there's no doubt this dude's talented, but it is such a pain in the ass, and there haven't been the results. I mean, at some point, don't you have to say that? It'll be interesting to see if that situation plays any role coming up in the next couple of days. Also been talked about, as I mentioned, that Malcolm Brogdon may end up being moved either before or certainly during the draft. Tomorrow night's going to be hellaciously entertaining. Most active teams, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, in trade talks that were going on yesterday as we talked to Ryan Carr into today, would be that of the Pacers, Wizards, and Kings.
When's the last time you felt really invested in a Pacers draft like we do this time?
Well, unless your investment is saying how much it sucked. Yes, exactly.
It's hard to get really excited for a pick that's 16, 17, 18,
right,
that you never know.
And again, everybody says, well, you know, they've got to get this right. There's no doubt. Number 6, if you do stay there, you have to get right. And then some will suggest, well, I mean, how good can you be when you're drafting mid-teens, late teens, whatever? We're not talking about finding a superstar there. We're just talking about anybody rotationally. We're going to present to you at a night in the fan cave tonight some examples of those. And I'm talking far from rotational. I mean, just give a minute here or there. A minute of mediocre off the bench basketball. Hey, go ahead and go in because this person needs a break or anything. Not even rotational. That's been the issue. And not just not rotational here, but not rotational anywhere. Or not even playing anywhere right now, as it would stand. It has been incredible. You would think, just like if you're watching on YouTube Live right now or Facebook Live, you just put on blindfold and you get one of those darts and you're throwing it like at a dartboard. At some point, it would like land on one name that would actually give you, at the very least, some rotational minutes. That's been the problem. So then you have to ask yourself, are you asking too much of them to, go from that to absolutely nail number 6? Does the drafting of Duarte last year give you a little bit of security that maybe they can get this thing right? Because when you look over the years, that's what you're looking at right there. The Duarte draft. And then the Duarte situation is such as when I brought up yesterday, maybe moving up to number 4 and what the Kings, no pun intended, ransom would have to be, Brogdon, Duarte, and the number 6 to get up to number 4 to hypothetically take a shot here at Jaden Ivey. That's a lot. That is a lot. I mean, really, at some point, you do have to start thinking about winning. And it's all great to talk about exactly what could happen and, how you're rebuilding and they're finally doing what I said they can do. But, man, you guys, I know you all too well, you're going to lose interest. You're going to lose interest. So you got to find something. You got to find something coming up. I'll keep you updated on all the rumors. They are fast and furious right now, which is fantastic. I mean, it really is. Kyle is right. When's the last time that you felt this invested? When's the last time you felt that this particular draft pick was such an important aspect and the future did hinge on making the right call here? It's been a while. I mean, again, you're just kind of hoping in the past to get some rotational minutes out of somebody. This is setting the bar really high. Yeah, Dyson Daniels, I maybe I should go ahead and excuse myself from the conversation, right? I know everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, a lot inside the lounge via YouTube Live really like him, and hopefully that's the case. But I don't know about that at number 6, everybody. I think I might have an issue at number 6. You might have a problem with it. Mathurin is okay. To me, at number 6, Mathurin's okay. I will go with that. I do like Murray a great deal, but if Murray's not there, Mathurin is the guy, I can go ahead and get down with that too. I just don't know that I'm going Dyson Daniels at 6. Wojnarowski reports the Lakers are considered the most significant threat to signing Kyrie Irving away from the Nets. That should be fun. I kind of hope that happens. That'd be great. That would be great. Don't you just want to see it? I mean, you didn't have enough FUBAR there to begin with, right? And then go ahead and add this. That part to me would be outstanding. That's what I'm hoping for right there. There's a little FUBARishness like that. Jim says, Murray or Mathurin, no need to outthink the room, and that is my thought and my concern. No, I completely agree with that. I do. That is my concern. That's why I asked yesterday, and I asked Ryan Carr this, and he's not going to say anything about it, and I completely understand why. But that's why I wanted him to compare the best workout that he'd ever seen to what Bob Kravitz had said and or written about the Pacers folks believing that Dyson Daniels was one, if not the best workout they've ever seen. I did want to try to put a body of work to it. And when he said Marshawn Brooks because he didn't miss a shot in the entire workout, I thought, yeah, I don't know about that. So no, Jim, that is absolutely accurate. If Murray's not there, go Mathurin. If Mathurin's not there, go Murray at 6, and don't outthink the room. And again, if you could swoop in and get 10 from the Wizards, and then you do something like that around number 10, I'd be all for that. Yeah, otherwise, not so much. All right, I got a lot of time to talk to you folks today. I think you should join us. 239-1070, email address, jmv at 1070thefan.com. Show us on Twitter at JMV1070, inside the lounge via YouTube Live. Let's go ahead and get active in here. If you're heading down to a night in the fan cave tonight, let me know. I will let you know if there are tickets remaining. I don't know as of right now. Here's my thought, and somebody may tell me that I'm wrong in stating this. I'm assuming that if you walk down there, go down there and pay your way in, they're going to find room for you. That's my assumption. And I hope so, too. I want to see everybody down there. We have gone over my segment with a fine-tooth comb. It literally took 35 seconds. Because my segment, my 20-minute segment is the life in which I have led to this point. I think most of you are going to be very much so entertained. And then, let me tell you, with a little Q&A at the very end, so we got to get in there around this round table. And then you guys can lob questions at us. That's going to be worth the price of admission by itself. Believe me. The Q&A. And that's last. You imagine? So we're spending time in the Larceny Bourbon Lounge, having a good time, and, time passes, our segments are all done, and then all of a sudden, hey, now it's Q&A time. That should be spectacular. That will not want to be missed. Now, are people allowed to record this? Do we know?
I have no idea.
Because they didn't allow the thing I did comedy-wise. Scott Long said, hey, you don't record. And I'm really, really glad that it wasn't. Because I would be a lot of things right now, including divorced. So I'm glad that it was not taped. Thank you very much, the Damar folks, for not taping that. Because the moment that the quote, is that too much nail, got out, then I'm done. No taping allowed? No taping allowed, says Todd Meyer. He's the executive producer. And it's a big day when my man's in khakis in here, baby. And you also know it's a big day. I actually brought pants in this bag right here. David Wood, our boss, says, we need you guys to wear pants. And I'm thinking, this is the first time I've worn pants since February. What's this about? Pants stuff. So, man, you look good, though, dude. Look at you over there. Should I have brought khakis?
Do whatever you want.
I'm all jeansed up. Hey, how many tickets remain, by the way? We have enough to push some people through if they do. A little walk-up action?
Still need to do it through the website.
Okay, you got to do it through the website. So what you can do is you can drive down there and just do it on your phone. Yep. That is our version. That's the technologically advanced version of walk-up, is doing it on your phone right before you walk in. So it's going to be a good time. I don't want you to miss that. So it's a night in the Fan Cave. It is tonight. Do you happen to know what we're going up against? Any concerts around here we're going up against?
I don't think so.
Who do I have to badmouth tonight?
I hope not.
Nah, it's seriously going to be a good time.
No Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. Stevie Nicks was last night. I know a lot of you guys. I think every hat store in Central Indiana was sold out of top hats last night. I think they all were worn at the Stevie Nicks show. And you guys won tickets here. So I hope you enjoyed that. I heard it was absolutely fantastic.
No concerts at Ruoff tonight. Josh Groban there tomorrow.
Jackson Brown's at the TCU Amphitheater. I actually kind of wanted to see that, but yeah. I've not seen Jackson Brown. Jackson Brown would be all right. What, Dr. My Eyes, Running on Empty, Somebody's Baby. Didn't he do Lawyers in Love? Well, I'm sure more than that, too. Oh, I know what song he did. He did a spectacular 1980s duet with what? No Longer With Us saxophone elite level player. May know? Oh, it's a great song from the 1980s right there. That was Jackson Brown, too, I believe, right? Anyway, quick break and we'll come back. I got time for your calls. Top of the hour, Kevin Bowen's going to join us. He and Jake start things out in a Night of the Fan Cave coming up later on tonight. So Kev's going to join us at 4, and Alex Golden's going to be in here coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll sift through a lot of these rumors to see if anything is fact or if there's just a truckload of fiction going on right now. A lot of stuff to get to on this show. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. You got us on Twitter, Facebook, the stream, the app. You got us on HD Radio. And by the way, in the GMC Acadia from Andy Moore Buick GMC, HD Radio sounds sweet. I listen to just like regular radio and go, God, that sounds like crap. This is like JMV 88 right here. But no, in HD Radio, it sounds good. So if you have that in your car, truck, or van, dial it in. It sounds really good. Otherwise, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Back with your calls next.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, June 22nd, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. 60 studies now say this technology can get rid of your ED without pills. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, June 22nd. It's worth $1,000, but call today and qualify totally free. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
Indianapolis. At Geico, our employees' careers matter to us.
An inclusive office matters to me.
We hear you, Kelly. Geico has employee resource groups that bring people from all communities together because diversity matters. Your hopes and dreams matter. Even giving you a little space for your lucky bobblehead matters.
Want to work at Geico, Randy? Oh, he says yes.
When it comes to your career, what matters to you matters to Geico. We're now hiring claims, sales, and customer service agents. Apply today at careers.geico.com/Indianapolis and let's get growing.
Hey, it's JMV for the absolute best in realty. Mark Deedle Realty. 317-755-4232. That's 317-755-4232. Online, markdeedle.com. That's markdietel.com. Today. So, how about Eddie in Morrisville? He wanted to sell his rental property to maximize the equity now in case prices start to cool. He heard about Mark Deedle on the radio and hired him. Everything he claims on the radio is absolutely true. Mark is smart and aggressive. He gave him multiple offers on that home in days, and they had it sold in 2 weeks for the high price that he wanted. Mark Deedle has a guarantee for you. Multiple offers on your home in 3 days, or he is going to list it for free. That's Mark Deedle Realty, 317-755-4232, 317-755-4232. MarkDeedle.com. That's MarkDietel.com today.
Sip and save at Circle K with our great new drink subscription. Join Sip and Save today and enjoy 1 drink a day every day for just $5.99 a month. Enjoy your favorite Circle K ice cold fountain drink, Froster, or freshly ground coffee every day. That's 30 drinks a month for only $5.99. So sip and save at Circle K. Sign up in store or at CircleK.com. Circle K. Take it easy.
Hubler has all the top brands: Chevy, Buick, GMC, Ford, Acura, Honda, Mazda, Nissan, and more. And every new vehicle includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to sell your vehicle? We'll pay you top dollar, even if you don't buy ours. Take it from Brooke Hubler.
You can get a car anywhere, but you can only get a warranty like this at Hubler. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Visit drivehubler.com. Hubler has it all. Warranty available on new vehicles except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. Copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
Hey, it's JMV. Sometimes accidents happen. Truck wrecks, car wrecks, motorcycle wrecks that just shouldn't have happened. It can mean dealing with a lot of pain, broken bones, surgeries, PT, extended medical care, even death. All of which can also add up to catastrophic harm. That's where personal injury attorney John McLaughlin at Parr Ritchie can help. John is recognized in Indiana Super Lawyer magazine as an injury attorney. It's worth a free call to see if John can help you. 317-269-2509 or visit parrinjury.com. That's PARR injury.com.
The largest bourbon event in Indiana is back. Big Red Liquor's Bourbon Expo and Rare Bourbon Lottery is Saturday, July 9th, 1 to 4 at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Tickets on sale now for 400 plus bourbons to sample, plus Rare Bourbon Lottery. Get your tickets now, bigredliquors.com. Must be 21 to enter.
Who's it gonna be?
Produce Jaden Ivey.
You would think Jaden Ivey wants Indy.
1980s basketball, then don't draft Jaden Ivey.
Keegan Murray mentioned that he has met with Indiana.
Keegan Murray to me feels like a brand new, loaded, with all the options, Honda Accord.
Jabari Smith.
Mathurin feels like he could be a Jaguar.
Chet Holmgren. Paulo Banchero.
Who's next to wear the blue and gold? Find out tomorrow on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Well, not really. I felt it on my leg. Come on, I don't want to see it.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, a little music from the 80s 101 for Kyle Udemark right here. He played saxophone in Springsteen's band. He was known as the Big Man. He's no longer with us. His name is Clarence Clemens. That right there is Jackson Brown. You're a Friend of Mine is this song. That's a good 80s tune right here. Vic Bark says, hello, CMV's better half. Yeah. Good to see you guys inside the lounge via YouTube Live. Appreciate that. Hopefully I see everybody inside the lounge on YouTube Live later on tonight at a Night of the Fan Cave. JMV, you got to mean you're a friend of mine by Clarence Clemens. Now play the Post Malone intro so I can have a shot at these tickets for my stepson. Great show as always, Garrett. Yeah, we have tickets to see Post Malone coming up, the 2nd of October, Cambridge Fieldhouse. A little bit later on today when you hear a re-entry song from Post Malone, that is your cue to call. Litzy writes this, so JMV at the Pacers get Murray at 6. It will be a crazy party at the District Tap. We will be there tomorrow. The District Tap. On the north side, by the way. North side District Tap. Now, do they do trivia up there too? That's not a trivia night, is it? I know some of these places do trivia. Here's what you want. You want me on your trivia team. You want me. Now, unless we're talking about science or literature or stuff like that. Most of the time, if it's anything pop culture, music, entertainment, geography, you want me as a part of your team. You do. Because I'll cash it in for you. But yes, it will be fun coming up tomorrow. There's no doubt about that. District Tap North Side with this show beginning at 3 o'clock tomorrow. John writes this, JMV, how much of these rumors are actual facts? How much of it is just built around hype for the draft? Actually, John, yesterday when we had Ryan Carr, the player personnel vice president of the Pacers, he basically said that's all anybody's doing right now is lying. And they're lying not just to one another on the phone, they're lying to Adrian Wojnarowski, and they're going to, he's kind of like the lighthouse beacon, and he is spreading that lie that hopefully for these teams will best benefit their position. So, yet, John, I would take it as if everybody is lying, including the Pacers. They're lying too. And no doubt. Hey, JMV, I would personally rather stay at 6 and draft best available. I absolutely would trade Brogdon for as much draft capital as possible. I wouldn't mind seeing Turner get traded as well for DeAndre Ayton. Just me. Well, I don't want DeAndre Ayton. If they trade Turner, they do. I just think you end up trading your veteran assets like this, then you're going for a lengthy time before you're going to be worth it. I'm not suggesting that Miles is the linchpin on this team next year, making the postseason or not. I'm not talking about that at all. But it seems like if you go that deep in taking veteran players off of this team, then you're going for a longer, like people think right now, 2 years at least. Could be even longer than that. If you're sinking deeply into draft prospects like that, I just don't know if they do that. Now, I will say this. When you get something in return, for example, with the Wizards, if you trade Brogdon to the Wizards for number 10 overall, and you can go 6-10 and still, keep Turner as a veteran, as I know that they want to see him before at least the trade deadline with this particular group. We'll see if that direction is the one they end up going in a second. Eric is at 239-1070. Hello, Eric. How are you? Eric, are you there? Did I hit the wrong one there? What the hell did I hit? Hold on. Hey, Eric, sorry about that. Go ahead.
Hey, JMV. Hey, that's a great call on that duet. I found that video of Clarence Clemens and Jackson Brown a few months ago, and I totally forgot about that song, man. That song is awesome.
Yeah, it's a feel-good song, right? We probably should have listened to that every day and take it to heart. It's a feel-good.
Oh, yeah, man. I say when you were saying that song, I was like, Clarence Clemens, man. I had no idea who that guy was until I looked that up. But the girl in that video, is that Daryl Hannah?
Yes, I believe so.
It sure is. Yeah, man. But real quick on the Pacers thing, the Ayton and the Turner deal, I totally see where you're coming from. Not wanting Ayton here, because if the guy's wanting max money, he's not going to get it here either. But on the flip side, I don't think Turner's going to be here that much longer either. And
he may not be. No, you're right. He may not be. I will say this. I think that they would like to see him play with this group to see if they have anything whatsoever before they trade him. But if they find something that you just can't pass up and it wouldn't surprise me if they dealt him here. But I do know they would like to see him with this group a little bit.
Yeah, but do you not agree that Ayton would be better for us when it comes up going up against Embiid and Giannis and that Robert Williams for Boston? Don't you think we'd have it? We need somebody that can defend those guys, and Turner can't do that.
Well, I mean, and part of the problem is I don't longer term though. Then you're going to have to end up trying to max him out. I don't know if I want a DeAndre Ayton max player here. But that's just me.
I don't disagree with you there. Right. And then maybe if he changed his tune after a couple of years, if we got lucky. But
it also kind of seems like that he's going to end up staying in Arizona. But that thing has changed a couple of different times so far, too, Eric.
Right.
Anything else?
Right. No, I can't wait till tomorrow night, man. Thanks again.
You got it, buddy. Thank you, Eric. Rex Hampton sent me this. Charlotte is shopping Gordon Hayward with their first-round picks. What do you think? I like Gordon Hayward as a dude, but that's what I think. No. I like him a great deal as a dude, but no. So what'd you end up getting? You get Charlotte 13 and 15? Is that what it is? In the first round? 13 and 15? So 13 and 15. And Gordon Hayward's huge contract for what is assumed to be what? Miles? They've always coveted Miles. Yeah, I don't see.
Hayward has 2 years left on his deal, 30 and 31.5 million.
I would give that the tremendous thumbs down right there. Anybody want to give me a double thumbs down on that? That doesn't sound like what they're doing or what they're trying to do. To me, at least. Yeah. And that'd be what? 13? I think, what did I say? 13 and 15? So that is the Blake Wesley. And somebody had mentioned this yesterday. Said, hey, stop, trying to mess around. Go Blake Wesley. What did they say? Blake Wesley is going to be as good as Murray and Mathurin one of these days anyway, when he gets more time. Somebody say, get Blake Wesley and try to, get a couple of picks midway through. The problem is you've worked your way all the way up by losing to number 6. I think everybody would probably find it tough to believe if they traded back down to where they have not had any success whatsoever in that middle teen, late teen neighborhood. I think that it would be hard for people to believe in that here. Quick break. We'll return. Your calls coming up on the other side. If you want to jump in here, Kevin Bowen's going to join us coming up at the top of the hour. And Alex Golden of Setting the Pace in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll keep you updated on all the rumors that are floating around. And again, I'll tell you, it is probably a lot of non-truth going on, but it's interesting to talk about, if for nothing else. Keep you updated on that. A night in the fan cave tonight. Again, you can walk up, but you can walk up with your phone and go to 1075thefan.com and pay your way in and join us for what is going to be a spectacular night at the Indiana Historical Society. We're brought to you by Forum Credit Union. It's coming up later on tonight. I think we're going to be there around 6 o'clock. What time does it officially get underway? Is it 7?
I think 7:30. Oh, man.
Somewhere
we
in
should
the
know
neighborhood,
this.
yeah.
7 or 7:30.
So we'll be over there with you guys. We'll have segments from each show. We'll have a Q&A. We'll have the Larceny Bourbon Lounge. We'll have food for you. Just prepare for a blast. And make sure that you're really lubed by the time I go on, so I'm incredibly funny and entertaining, okay? Just make sure. I'm going last. Coming up tonight. So hopefully we see you out there. Again, 1075thefan.com, the Indiana Historical Society tonight. Tonight's the night, a night in the fan cave at 93.5 and 1075 The Fan.
taught you how to ride a bike, to always listen to your mother, and how to behave when watching sporting events.
Holy shit, he traveled. He traveled and you know he traveled.
Now it's time to say thanks, Dad. Take him to a night in the Fan Cave, June 22nd at the Indiana Historical Society. Eating, drinking, and talking sports with your favorite fan hosts. What better way to say thanks to dear old Dad? Tickets at 1075thefan.com.
It is Andy Moore Buick GMC 131st State Road 37. It's in Fishers, and Eric Wilson is his name. Call him or stop by. Better yet, talk to him about what you're looking for in a new set of wheels. I talk about it all the time. At least from my standpoint, the GMC Acadia is perfect. If you have kids, because when you have kids, that means you have other kids too. Because kids and other kids always want to ride somewhere together, especially after sports, games, or anything else. Get ice cream, get food. The Acadia has room for absolutely everybody, and then room to spare as well. It's a fantastic vehicle, and you know what? Check it out. Ask about it. The inventory is there, and we're talking about a hassle-free car buying experience. In fact, it's the best at Indiana's best. Andy Moore Buick GMC. Tell Eric Wilson that I sent you. 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
The Indiana Pacers and JMV inviting you to attend the 2022 Gold on the Clock Draft Party, June 23rd, presented by Corona. The District Tap on the north side from 3 to 6 p.m.
Hi, it's Bob from Royal Spa. Soaking in a hot tub full of Epsom salts is the absolute best way to minimize everyday aches and pains. And we know all about Epsom salts at Royal Spa. Royal Spa hot tubs are the only hot tubs on the market that can safely and effectively use Epsom salts. Made right here in Indiana, Royal Spa hot tubs are the highest quality hot tubs on the market. Visit any one of our 3 Indianapolis locations or visit royalspa.com.
Ah, Royal Spa.
Johnny, for Love Heating and Air Conditioning, it is a warm one out there today. How is your cooling unit doing? You're going to make sure that this thing is good to go, not just for now, but for the remainder of the summer. So, yes, go with the absolute best. That's Johnny Chris Love at Love Heating and Air, 317-353-2141. Make sure that you are cool and comfortable in your home and go with the best. It's Love Heating and Air, 317-353-2141 online, love-hvac.com today.
The countdown is on. June 29th is the night. It's Miss Twin Peaks 2022. Twin Peaks girls from around the nation will be traveling to Arlington, Texas to compete for the title. Get to your favorite Twin Peaks location to catch all of the action from Arlington broadcast live, plus a bikini costume party and tons of drink specials available all day. Who will be crowned Miss Twin Peaks 2022? Stop into your local Twin Peaks and catch all the action on June 29th. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Post Malone, the 12 Carat Tour. The long-awaited event comes to Indianapolis. Gainbridge Fieldhouse, October 2nd. Post Malone. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. New album 12 Carat Toothache available everywhere.
Who will the Pacers select at the NBA Draft? Tomorrow night at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Collect them, trade them, or just enjoy them.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Man, bad news just now being reported. TMZ has just tweeted that former NFL defensive player who spent, I believe, 1990 through 96 here with the Colts, Tony Siragusa, has passed away at the age of 55. TMZ's tweet says that his former Baltimore Ravens teammate Jamal Lewis confirmed that to TMZ Sports. Tony Siragusa was here from 90 through 96, and I talk about the 95 season all the time. It was like the breakthrough moment where you realized what it meant to have a postseason winning team. because you had none of that up until that point. And it was like a comet. As quickly as it was here, it was gone. I will also say that gave you a bit of a taste, bit of a fever of how you wanted your football team to be, how successful you expected your football team to be. It was basically a 3-week run. San Diego, Kansas City, and then in Pittsburgh in the AFC title game and ending in a loss. That was a huge beginning. And I believe, if memory serves too, he left on unhappy financial terms. Yeah, I don't think he was a big fan of... I'm trying to think. Make sure I got my years accurate here. Yeah, 95. I think it was 90 through 96. But he was incredible to just watch and listen to. And he was certainly, if you go back to the 50s and the 60s where you had the characters of the game, he was definitely during his era a character of the game. So he didn't leave here. He didn't leave here on the best of terms. I think he ended up with the Ravens. He was a part of that team that won, a Super Bowl. Post-playing career was a part of a couple of different network broadcasts, I believe. Maybe it was just Fox, but certainly he was a part of that. Now, if you remember, this is the other thing that also stands out to me is he had a short acting career as he appeared a couple of different times as a character on the HBO series The Sopranos. Man, that stinks. That so stinks. Tony Siragusa was 55. Man, that really does bum me out today. Yeah, Goose was outstanding to listen to. He was a character of the game. Remember guys like back in the day, like Art Donovan, who was a character of the game? He was definitely, of his era in the 90s, a character of the game. A JMV, fond memory of Siragusa coming on stage at the then Deer Creek Music Center singing with the recently departed Meatloaf. He sang, "I would do anything for love" with Meatloaf. Yeah, 95 gave you a taste of officially what it was like to have a playoff winning, playoff challenging team here. And that year, the end of that year, set the stage for what you expected. And then once Bill Polian got here and obviously Manning and that Manning era began, that then was the gold standard. But there was really little to no success, and especially postseason success up until that 95 season. The tail end of that was amazing because you really could not even grasp it because it just went by so quick. It was like first you couldn't believe your eyes. What is that, Zach Crockett doing what to the Chargers? Now, Lynn Elliott's trying to kick what? 15 miles wide right? What is happening here? I mean, by the time you realized it and really got to soak it up, Aaron Bailey's laying on his back in the end zone in Pittsburgh, and the ball, unfortunately, was laying right next to him. Incredible. Or I should say Brian Stabline, I think, was the guy that picked it up, right? Afterwards. But it was so quick, but still so incredibly meaningful. And he was a part of that. There wasn't a great deal that was entertaining about those years, 90 through 96, here with the Colts, he certainly was at the top of that list of entertainment. And it wasn't just about that, but he brought an attitude. He brought things that you have not seen or had not seen in football around here. Man, that stinks. And yeah, you're asking, he had been on with me a couple of different times. Because I remember we had talked about what role did he play. I forget how many episodes he was in The Sopranos, but we were talking about him being on that. Frankie Cortez, is that the 4 episodes of The Sopranos? And I was, like everybody else back then, huge in on The Sopranos, and you watched it every single week. Tony Siragusa, according to TMZ, has passed away at the age of 55, and that sucks. One of these days, I think we have to have a sit down, and we'll have to, especially those of you that are my age and remember that. There was so much more bad than good about the football that was being played. It was just shocking. And again, you didn't even know, you didn't have time to really believe what you were seeing. You just kind of had to jump on and hold on. And he was a part of that. Tony Siragusa passed away at the age of 55. That according to TMZ. We'll come back, get some of your thoughts. Kevin Bowen's going to join us from the morning show. Kevin and Query, that's up next. Alex Golden regarding the NBA draft. I can't lie to you. The wind's out of my sails a little bit. That's a bummer to me. Huge bummer. Yeah, Caleb Swanigan yesterday. Tony Siragusa today. $55. All right, quick break. We'll come back. Kevin Bowen's going to join us next.
So, my husband wants tickets to the Fan Cave for Father's Day. What is it?
Glad you asked. It's Kevin and Query, Dan Dockich, and JMV together on one stage. That's the official answer. Dan?
We're going to be scratching and burping, and...
Hey, pull my finger.
And there it is.
It'll be the best party you go to all summer. Food, drinks, and a great show all at the Indiana Historical Society. A night in the Fan Cave brought to you by Forum Credit Union. Tickets and details at 1075thefan.com.
Hey, it's Johnny from Mark Dietel. That's Mark Dietel Realty Today. Oh, the absolute best indeed. Mark Dietel Realty. And there's so many different things that you can go to as far as Mark and what he brings to the table. That the best in realty, 317-755-4232. That's 317-755-4232. MarkDietel.com, MarkDietel.com. Today, I always talk about the guarantees because I do. Me, if I'm in this, I want some guarantees. And, man, Mark will lay it on you and will absolutely back it up. Multiple offers in 3 days. That's a guarantee for full market value, or he's going to list it for you for free. He is phenomenal at what he does. So no matter your situation, whether you're downsizing, upgrading, we've talked about this before. So many different conversations about how he has absolutely knocked the ball right out of the park when it comes to the expectations for folks. You can be next. Go with the absolute best. Mark Dietel Realty. 317-755-4232. That's 317-755-4232. MarkDietel.com, MarkDietel.com today.
Hey, tennis fans, with the BetRivers.com sportsbook app, you can smash, slice, and spin your way to big tennis paydays. That's because we're serving up the excitement of live in-game betting, where you can bet on all the action, including point-by-point betting from tournaments around the world. Plus, with BetRivers' award-winning customer service, it's game, set, and match. Download the BetRivers.com sportsbook app. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21. Must be located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Hey, JMV and fellas, need an annual health exam? I recommend going to Low T Center to get your complete health assessment. They will check all of your levels, not just your T level. In most cases, it's completely covered by your health insurance, and if you don't have insurance, it's less than $100 for a full lab panel and an office visit with their medical provider to give you a complete health assessment. Low T Center specializes in men's health care. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book online. That's Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
Dave Matthews Band Live. This Friday and Saturday, Ruoff Music Center.
So much to say, so much to say, so much to say, so much to say. You and me together could do anything, baby.
Reserve seats on sale now at livenation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
Hey, it's Johnny for Race Trash Service, the absolute best in waste disposal and recycling. Racetrash.com to sign up for the best today. Plus, if you're looking for a new career as a driver, you have your commercial driver's license, and you dig on great pay and fantastic benefits. Why not make that destination of new, incredible employment Race Trash Service? That also, non-drivers available too. Just a great company that's been family operated since the 1960s. That is racetrash.com to sign up today. Also, remember, the best in waste disposal. I mean, the best. They do it for so many of the big places around here, including Butler and Victory Field. They can do that for you as well, just like they do it for me. The best in waste disposal and recycling, racetrash.com. Sign up today.
As a contractor installing windows, you deserve a simple choice. Anderson 400 Series windows. They're the cladwood windows contractors trust the most. So much so, they're the windows contractors trust for their own homes. And they even have fewer callbacks for extra peace of mind. When it comes to windows, the choice is simple. It's Anderson 400 Series windows. The windows contractors trust the most. Request a quote at andersonwindows.com today.
Claims based on 2022 Anderson brand survey of U.S. contractors.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB. WIBC HD3 W228CX. Indianapolis.
Thursday on Kevin and Query, it's NBA Draft Night. Scott Agnes joins us to talk about it, and we recap a night in the Fan Cave. Fun starts at 7, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
This will be the high point of my day. It's all downhill from here.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
9 to Fan Cave tonight, Indiana Historical Society. Walk it up with us if you want to. Larceny Bourbon Lounge. We've got food and entertainment at the wazoo. Join us. District Tap for me coming up tomorrow on the north side. That is going to be fantastic as we get ready for the NBA draft, which is so incredibly important as we sit here right now talking about the Pacers at number 6. But I do want to get back to this, and TMZ reported it, and it's making its way around, and Jim Irsay has responded to it. One of the characters of the game that was incredibly meaningful for the Colts team in establishing, finally, after such a long time of being here at Indy, a postseason winning expectation. This was like the ground floor of giving you the taste of what it felt like to win your team winning in the postseason. And as I mentioned, it was quick. You didn't really realize what you were watching until it was over during a span of 3 weeks, but a big part of that was Tony Siragusa. And Tony Siragusa passed away earlier today at the age of 55, and that sucks. I mean, that sucks. You hate to hear that and hear that about anybody. That stinks. I think he was also on a show called Man Caves, too, but he did 4 episodes of The Sopranos, was on Fox as a field analyst, I think, for a while as well. Tony Siragusa was 55. And he was, you talk about all the time characters of the game. I brought up Art Donovan, who was a former Baltimore Colt back in the day, who was one of those characters of the game. Conrad Dobler, I'm going way back on these characters of the game. He was that for the 1990s, and then some. And he was also important to the transition that this organization was trying to make and no longer be that laughing stock. You know, the joke, the butt of jokes, the punchline, all that. And that's what the end of the 95 season did. 55 years old. Tony Siragusa passes away today on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. A lot to get to from the morning show. Kevin and Query, 7 until 10 a.m. weekday mornings right here on The Fan. Kevin Bowen joins us. I know that you're very young and may not have been in on a lot of what Siragusa did for this organization and this team, but there is no doubt in the 90s it was incredibly meaningful.
You know, John, my first probably real kind of vivid sports memory is that 95 run. And obviously, Siragusa moving on to Baltimore and his Fox days, he just struck me as such a character and such a guy that I found myself watching those Fox games and being so happy when I realized he was on the telecast. Whenever they panned down to him and he'd be like up on the goalpost, and the cold weather games, you'd see him out there. And obviously just, working for the Colts and covering the team for, over a decade now, knowing a little bit more about their history. Yeah, I mean, you do realize what you just said, how meaningful he was to really establishing footing here in Indianapolis and providing some of that winning culture. And the name, the position, I'm pretty sure he was undrafted, if I'm not mistaken. Like, all of that, I felt like just kind of fit the blue-collar way that, he played the game as a guy absorbing space and then, just an unbelievable personality. While he played football, but certainly after as well. Yeah, undrafted back in 1990 out of Pittsburgh. And, there's no doubt he was, he was, no pun intended here, a big deal. A big deal. People gravitated to him. He was a character. But then, he did help establish that footing when things finally got winning serious around here. And, it had been the better part of, 10 years or so since the Colts had gone from Baltimore to here, and it had been fleeting. There's no doubt about that. Maybe occasionally there was a win that you could talk about, but for the most part, it was a punchline. And what Siragusa did is he brought the punchlines with him, but he also helped with this team and that particular 95 team to establish what everybody looks for and expects today out of this organization. I'd be willing to bet, John, and I turn 33 here in a couple months. If you ask people in kind of my age range who they remember from that 95 team, I don't know if anyone would come to mind second on the list after Harbaugh besides Siragusa. I really feel like he had that presence. I don't know if that's how, older people feel about those teams, but it just felt like he created that sort of personality. And he was a great player, too, and I was really glad that he won a ring with Baltimore. At least I'm pretty sure he won a ring with Baltimore.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but just in general, I mean, his personality, and, I mean, full well what, the crowds look like, spilling into the early 90s, and for them to establish that here is, like you said, it's a huge reason why the culture and that winning championship mindset and the expectations are as high as they are for this franchise.
It's Kevin Bowen's with us, and to play off of that, too. And by the way, we're talking about former Colts defensive standout Tony Siragusa, who has reportedly passed away today at the age of 55, which is just incredibly too young and very sad. But I want to get back to that 95 team for a moment. Maybe I have missed it, but I would love to see, and I think a lot of people are with me, love to see something put together in more detail that explains what was, that particular springboard that year. Because as I mentioned before I brought you on the show, when you were watching it, whether it was, in San Diego or in Kansas City or how it ended in the AFC title game in Pittsburgh, it was almost like you were rubbing your eyes trying to understand whether or not you should be believing it. You know, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is going on. And by the time you came to that realization that this is absolutely happening, and this is what can happen in the NFL when your team wins in the postseason, it was gone. It was like a comet. It was incredibly awesome, but it was quick, and then it was gone.
You know, you watch Cincinnati go on their run this year, and, you know, they hadn't gone on a run in, you know, quite some time and all that. But, I mean, they had the number 1 overall pick at quarterback, and Jamar Chase being a top 5 pick. And correct me if I'm wrong, because you would know far better, John. Again, I was 6, 7 years old at the time. It felt like that run was a little Cinderella feeling.
Yes, it was very
NFL,
Cinderella, yeah.
Yeah, and in the NFL, you just don't get that. I mean, first off, there's not enough playoff teams to really allow for that, which is fine. I think the regular season should matter. But it had that sort of feeling to it. And yeah, I don't – Colt Productions have done so many good things with the Next Fix series and all that. I don't know, maybe they could whip something up. And, you know, obviously, you know, getting Harbaugh would probably be a little bit of a hurdle, knowing how he operates. But yeah, I feel like just giving a look back or an oral history, or what are we coming up on, 30 years in 2025? That's what it would be. Yeah, maybe if they did something like that, or a reunion of sorts. I can't recall anything they have had. You know, the 25th year anniversary would have been just a few years ago. I don't remember any sort of anniversary for that, but it does feel like for a franchise that moved here in '84, had gone a decade of perennial losing, that is kind of one of those teams that everybody needs to attract a fan base, believe in your organization, and at the time probably believe that the NFL can stay here, which I think in the mid-'90s was probably a bit up in the air.
Well, I mean, and listen, it didn't really get solid footing until, you know, the Manning effect really started to take shape in the early 2000s. I mean, they were still trying to, you know, beat sellouts and have drive-through ticket sales and all that. But this just gave everybody a taste. I mean, from Zach Crockett in the game that he had against the Chargers in the wild card game to that divisional round game in the snow and the sub-zero temperatures, and Lynn Elliott, the kicker for the Chiefs that couldn't make one that game. And then, you know, obviously the legend that ended badly for the Colts, but certainly would go down in history as something that everybody probably watches whenever that highlight is on, is that loss to the Steelers. It was a 3-week period where you couldn't really believe your eyes what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I vividly remember, which, again, I was very young, but I vividly remember just the town kind of turning into this, you know, sea of blue. And, you know, my elementary school at the time, it was like everybody was wearing Colts jerseys and shirts and everything. Yeah, it kind of felt like almost a college homecoming run of just the pageantry of it. And, you know, obviously we had never experienced that as a city with an NFL team. So, yeah, that would be awesome. If you know, if somebody could whip something like that up. And man, I saw some of the report, you know, some of the people from Baltimore saying he was just at like a golf outing last week, or maybe even over the weekend. It sounds like this is unfortunately, I mean, it's tragic to begin with, but you know, pretty sudden.
Yeah, that's terrible. It is terrible. And again, you don't have really. Are there characters in this game any longer? I mean, characters like him, because I referenced Tony Siragusa in terms of, you know, like Art Donovan or Conrad Dobler or Dick Butkus, you know, characters of the game like that. They don't have that in the NFL any longer.
I mean, honestly, the closest thing I can think of someone that they tried to, well, maybe it was more of a Thursday night college football, but didn't they try to do that with McAfee a little bit? Like post-football, it was, hey, you know, go into the broadcast booth or be a sideline reporter. I can't think of many sideline people that are ex-players as recently as he was.
I mean, was Gronkowski in the ballpark of it at least?
Yeah, but I don't know. Just a different type of personality. Like Gronk was like, you know, frat boy, you know, throw the dude out of the club type of guy. Siragusa, I just felt like was kind of the lovable teddy bear. And sure, you know, I'm probably referencing his size with that, but I just thought his personality. I mean, can you think of like a name, a position? And did you say he went to Pittsburgh? I kind of forgot where he went to college. Like,
yeah, he attended Pittsburgh.
Like all of that fits him. Like super blue collar in Pittsburgh. He's undrafted. He plays a position that gets little attention. He had the look. He had the name. I mean, all of it I felt like just kind of fit him so perfectly. So, yeah, I mean, Gronk in a different way, but I don't think of, anybody really in that Siragusa type of light. I mean, maybe some teams feel that lovable affection for, like, people in their own sort of communities. Like, in a way, I felt like Hard Knocks was trying to go there with Grover Stewart for an episode or two, but nobody like Siragusa had, not only here, but again, I felt like it was pretty well known across the NFL, even when he played here, of just how much of a character he was.
Tony Siragusa, the former Colts standout defensive player from 90 through 96, and of course was a part of that team and its defense in 95 and that run to the AFC title game, passed away earlier today at the age of 55. And that's what Kevin and I have been talking about. Incredibly sad news, certainly on the Colts front right there. So stuff much less important, certainly, than that. Let's change gears here to where we're going tomorrow night with the Pacers. You think all this Dyson Daniels stuff is a great deal of a smokescreen going down right now, or is there legitimacy to what they're thinking about number 6 with him?
I think the legit aspect just comes from what Dyson Daniels would bring to the defensive end of the floor. This team's been absolutely horrid defensively in recent years. If you are going to make a Miles Turner move, I mean, oh my gosh, can you imagine how many points you'll be giving up on a night-in, night-out basis? We saw it at the end of last year. So I think that's where I'm listening to it. Where I just don't really listen to it, though, is offensively, which I think that outweighs what you do on the other end of the floor. I just think that's how the game is called. I don't think the game is called to favor the defense that much anymore. I don't like a guy that's going to be another point guard, it seems like, and is a 25% three-point shooter. I mean, I get the guys can improve a bit, but that's an ugly-looking number. When I got issues about Johnny Davis being 30%, and, Daniels is a guy that's 25, and that's, oh, man, I don't like that. And anytime you hear just like the wild hyperbole of one of the greatest workouts in Pacers draft history, like, boy, don't you just like immediately fire that person that leaked that information if you do really like the guy?
Hey, Kev, I'm going to stop you right here. I want you to continue. I know you talked to Ryan this morning. I had Ryan on yesterday, and I knew that he wasn't going to say, anything about that. But I was curious. I said, tell me the best workout that you have ever seen. And he said, Marshawn Brooks. So I thought, I said, that's all we need to know. That's all we need to know right there. So I had to laugh about that. So
was it not Marshawn Brooks and Klay Thompson? Were they here together, or am I just thinking of something random with that?
That might be right. Because if you remember, Klay Thompson, and you look back on that and you go, how stupid was everybody? Klay Thompson had a smoking pot bust kind of lingering, no pun intended here, as a cloud over his head when he was, I think, coming out of Washington State that year. And if anybody viewed that any more than what they should have viewed, it probably feels like a pretty big horse's ass right now.
Yeah, I cannot get in love with these workouts to that degree. I mean, the guys Dyson Daniels going up against, if I remember correctly, Jeremy Sohan was supposed to be in his workout. He wasn't even there. So you had a bunch of guys that aren't going to be, in the lottery, and then who knows?
Well, yeah. Guys, and I guarantee you, Bob Kravitz said that to you guys. I think he wrote that on The Athletic as well. I guarantee you, Kevin Pritchard told him that, and whether or not Kevin Pritchard was real or that was sandbagging, smoke screening, whatever. Yeah, that's where it probably came from.
Yeah, and I mean, this is where we're at, John. 24 hours, 28 hours, whatever it is out from the draft. It's like, what do you believe? What do you not believe? I've been, and I'm sure you've heard, I really like Ben Mather, and I know we've had this conversation, but I asked Ryan Carr about him earlier today. I'm thinking to myself, now I'm trying to sift through his answers. I'm like, well, Ryan Carr immediately started talking about Mather and off the floor. Didn't want to talk about him much on the floor. Is that a smoke screen? Does that mean they really like him and they don't want to talk about his on-the-floor attributes? Does that mean they don't really like him? It's just kind of where we're at right now, 28 hours out. So for me, I look at it and think, all right, you're going to have the first 3 picks. I think we all believe in some order. It's going to be Jabari Smith, Chet Holmgren, Paolo Banchero. we'll see if Jaden Ivey cracks that. If not, you got to think him and Keegan Murray are the next two off the board. And then I would take Matherin at 6. Daniels versus Shaden Sharp, I think is a little bit more of an interesting debate. I was really put off by Shaden Sharp's comments earlier in the week. And I'm usually not a guy that, oh my gosh, how you dress in an interview or how you act in an interview, totally is going to influence me. But just the more you hear, the more it just seems really, really risky. And I've said swing for the fences, but that's one where that one's starting to turn the other way for me. So if it came down to that, maybe you would go Daniels. But again, I think out of the big three and Ivy, Murray, Matherin, one of those guys is going to be there just based off math at 6. So I think whichever one's there, that's who you take.
I had a Twitter follower named Jim that mentioned a little bit earlier today, and I think this is really all you have to say if the Pacers are intent on staying at number 6, is don't overthink this thing. Matherin or Murray. If Detroit takes Matherin, you take Murray. If Detroit takes Murray, you take Matherin. And you leave it at that. Now, I will say this. If they're able to get a little bit of wiggle room, maybe trade Brogdon to the Wizards for number 10, and then if you want to, like you have said, swing for the fences or think outside the box a little bit with some level of talent right there that is relatively unknown, then I wouldn't mind that. But you got to go with what you know right here. You don't outthink the room.
No, I would agree on that, and I am all about Malcolm Brogdon not being on this team come Friday morning and trying to get a pick, late lottery, whatever, 13, 14, 15, something like that as well. Because, Brogdon, there's so much issue with him being available. Obviously, the Halliburton fit, I don't think is ideal on and off the floor. And then also, John, I think you just have to start kind of realigning some timelines here. If you are going to keep Turner, which I understand why you would, Buddy Hield's name doesn't seem to be coming up in any of this stuff. I mean, there's two guys, Buddy much older than Miles, that are on different timelines. So I just don't think you need a third guy in Brogdon. And I really feel like this is the last time that you really have an opportunity to truly cash in on him and find a desperate team. Maybe you could bank on him starting the season and being healthy for the first half of the year, and you move him at the trade deadline, but that's just a risk that I don't want to take. And it's also, going to be him and Halliburton together for the first 30 or 40 games, and just how does that fit? To me, it doesn't fit very smoothly. So I would be moving Brogdon, and if you can get a top half of the first-round pick in return for him, I would call that a tremendous move.
What do you think? Is everything off as far as a possibility of the Pacers having Jaden Ivey interest in trying to get the number 4 if his availability is there with Sacramento? Is that all done? Is that over?
What do you think it would take to get to 4?
Have you seen what it might take? What reportedly it would take? They say
it's like a lot richer than I thought it would be.
The 6, Brogdon and Duarte is what the report was. And I'm not suggesting that Duarte is, Michael Jordan by any stretch, but that to me is way too damn much right there to move up to. That's just me.
I'm not doing that. I mean, because theoretically what you're doing there is you're really trading 2 lottery picks if you want to look at it like that. Duarte being one last year, and then if you think you can swing Brogdon for a lottery pick, that would be trading. Just for 2 spots. I mean, I get it's 4 and it's really high, but I like Jaden Ivey. I mean, after the St. Peter's game, that really did not like that at all. But I've probably come around a little bit more and just chalking that up as all right. It's one night, and the NBA is going to be put in a much better environment from a spacing standpoint and all those things. But still, I would probably not do that.
So if you were able to get 6 and 10, and you get a combination of Matherin or Murray at 6, and then come back at 10. Dyson Daniels, he may be off the board by then. Dyson Daniels depends on, I guess, what you're going to do with Miles as far as Mark Williams and whether or not you would think about him around 10. A.J. Griffin is somebody they've had in. Jeremy Sohan is somebody that they've had in as well. Anybody from that particular group, if they're able to wiggle around and maybe get number 10 during this draft?
Yeah, the name, I know you're having Alex Golden on a little bit later. I know he's really high on the guy, Terry Eason out of LSU, kind of a bigger wing, very athletic. He would be a name that I'd throw in there as well. The whole Mark Williams Walker Kessler, the big man from Auburn as well. I mean, I think that would be all Miles dependent for me, John. Like, if you do plan on moving Miles, then I do think you would need it would be wise to draft one of those centers. If not, I mean, Goga's still on the roster, and Isaiah Jackson you want to give minutes to as well. So I don't think that is necessarily the route that you want to go. Obviously, Miles is in a contract year coming up as of now. We'll see if he gets an extension or not. So that would factor into it. But, yeah, if I'm back at 10, I'd probably look a little bit more defensive-minded with a wing if you go Murray or Matherin at 6.
All right, Kev, go get Rosie. And tonight, it's a night of the Fan Cave, Indiana Historical Society. You, Jake, ready?
We are ready, but I'll tell you what, I hear you've got quite the opener planned.
Yeah, we'll see. No, it's it's one of those where I go, all right, are people going to be down with this, or maybe not so down with this? So I'm hoping that there's a lot of lubrication going down before I get on stage.
Hey, we got you in the closer spot for a reason there. Yes, certainly. I think it'll be a hit.
All right, brother. I'll see you later on tonight.
All right, see you tonight.
It's Night of the Fan Cave. Kevin Bowen, Jake Query, Kevin and Query. Dan will be there. I will be there. You hopefully will be there too. Larceny Bourbon Lounge, that's definitely going to be there, and we will be in that. Got food, and it's going to be a good time. Yeah, walk-up wise, if you would like to attend, you don't have tickets, yeah, obviously log on 1075thefan.com, get tickets that way. Or you can just drive down there and just use your smartphone and do it that way too. But we would love to see you. I've been going over this every day. NBADraft.net. They kind of change up their mock draft on maybe an hourly basis now, but certainly a daily basis. They have the Pacers selecting Keegan Murray. They believe, as we sit here, and again, this thing has changed like crazy. They have Keegan Murray's availability at 6 and believe the Pacers will select him there. Now, the reason why Murray has availability at 6 is because the Pistons, according to NBADraft.net, and their mock draft would be selecting at number 5, Benedict Matherin. Ivy 4 to Sacramento, Banchero 3 to Houston, Holmgren 2 to Oklahoma City, Jabari Smith number 1 overall. And I would also invite you to watch and see what Oklahoma City may try to do with their just buttloads of assets here. That could upset a great deal of what people are trying to do in that first 6 or 7 coming up. Actually, if you want to look 6 or 7, all the way down to 12. And there are various rumors out there. One is certainly that the Pacers would like to move into 10 by dropping Malcolm Brogdon to the Wizards. So that would give the Pacers 6 and 10. There was a rumor earlier that maybe the Pacers wouldn't mind to ship Brogdon to the Knicks for the 11th overall selection. That has been, at least by Brian Windhorst, I think, shot down a little bit earlier today. And it appears that Charlotte has both 13 and 15 available, along with somebody taking Gordon Hayward. It's the latest. We'll keep you updated. Alex Golden will join us, setting the pace, coming up at the top of the hour. Incredibly sad news today. Tony Siragusa, former Colts defensive standout and one of the true all-time legitimate characters of the game, has passed away at the age of 55. Is it me? It doesn't seem like that there are any more characters like that, like I described, any longer. Gronkowski probably would have been the closest to it, right?
Definitely Gronk, yeah.
It does not seem like you got any characters of the game any longer. Yeah, that is just tough news right there. I hate that. Somebody had mentioned this a little bit earlier. Where was this? Here it is. IndyCar Complainer says, hey, JMV, remember when Goose had an evening radio show on what is now Alt 103.3? Back when it was good, it was X103. But now it's Alt 103.3. It was called the Super Bowl of Rock and Roll or something like that. I do vaguely remember it. Was it on before Loveline? I always wondered about that over there. And this was before I even got over in that building. But, I mean, you got this the huge alternative thing going on. And, man, Pearl Jam and Nirvana. And this would have been around, 95 or 96. So Cobain was already gone back in 1994. And, had all that sound going on. And then all of a sudden you stop. And I guess maybe it got numbers or maybe it paid for itself or something. But all of a sudden you'd throw on Dr. Drew and Loveline at like 10 o'clock. I listened back then. It seemed like you got more of the same stories over and over. That was always weird. But yeah, IndyCar complainer, that is true. Tony Siragusa, 55 years old. Rex Hampton says this, so my men's league softball game just got canceled for tonight due to the heat? They cancel that stuff due to heat? Do they?
These old middle-aged guys being out there in a 95 degree.
They didn't do that back in the day. When I played at Murray Forest Park in Bedford or at Twin Lakes in Bloomington, it'd be lightning would be snapping around. You'd be out there swinging that stick. I think we're okay. Let's get this game in. So Rex wants to know, are there still tickets left for the... Yes, there are. So log on right now, Rex, 1075thefan.com. And there should be tickets available for you. Hey, JMV, this is from Sally. I remember when Goose would hang out for the Monday Night Football at the Cattle Company at Keystone at the Crossing. Those are good times back then. Quick break, and we shall return inside the lounge via YouTube Live. If you guys want to jump on board, you can at 239-1070. Email address, jmv@1070thefan.com. A night in the fan cave is tonight. We're going to see you there. And, of course, the sad news today of the passing of former Colts defensive player from 90 through 96. Tony Siragusa died earlier today at the age of 55. Back with you next.
He taught you how to ride a bike, to always listen to your mother, and how to behave when watching sporting events.
Holy shit, he traveled. He traveled and you know he traveled.
Now it's time to say thanks, Dad. Take him to a night in the fan cave, June 22nd at the Indiana Historical Society. Eating, drinking, and talking sports with your favorite fan hosts. What better way to say thanks to dear old Dad? Tickets at 1075thefan.com.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, June 22nd, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. 60 studies now say this technology can get rid of your ED without pills. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're gonna love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, June 22nd. It's worth $1,000, but call today and qualify totally free. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
Hey, everybody. We've all heard stories from friends and family about something really bad that happened. You're in an accident. There's a painful, life-altering injury, huge medical bills, even wrongful death, all from someone else's fault. Some of you are dealing with it right now. That's where the attorneys at Parr Ritchie Law Firm can help. Tony Patterson, Paul Cruz, and John McLaughlin lead a team with over 70 years of collective courtroom experience and millions of dollars in jury awards and settlements for their clients. None of us can change the past. Just know that Tony, Paul, and John are on your side to help you and your family going forward. They're recognized by Super Lawyers and U.S. News and World Report as being among the leading injury lawyers in Indiana. Even if you're unsure you have a case, give Parr Ritchie a call. They'll listen and give you their free, experienced legal opinion. Call 317-269-2509 or visit parrinjury.com. That's Parr injury.com.
Hey, it's Big Joe, and Ryan Kelly is with us on the line. 317-550-1515 is the number to call to get a hold of him, or the homeloanexpert.com also works. And Ryan, taking care of our military, past and present, we know that's really important to you. So much so, you developed the Hero Loan to help out our brave men and women.
Absolutely. Big Joe, it means the world to us, the sacrifices that these folks make to protect our freedoms to live in this great nation. And that's why we created the Hero Loan, only available at HeroLoan.com. We got at a table. We sat down. We brainstormed. What can we do to give back? We had already been wrecking through the desert. We've already been climbing mountains to raise money for Fisher House. I mean, the list goes on, but we had to do more. And that was the birth of the Hero Loan. We will get you a lower rate on your VA loan. We will pay for your appraisal, help with all the paperwork, and can close your VA loan in as little as 21 days. No one else does that. Get the loan that you deserve today. Visit HeroLoan.com, the only way to VA.
NASCAR and IndyCar action return for Brickyard Weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Saturday, July 30th, catch a doubleheader featuring the NTT IndyCar Series Gallagher Grand Prix, followed by the NASCAR Xfinity Series Pennzoil 150. Then Sunday, the 31st, the NASCAR Cup Series Verizon 200 at the Brickyard. Experience the roar and power of NASCAR and the speed and precision of IndyCar in one exciting family-friendly race weekend. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now at IMS.com.
All the absolute best to make sure you maintain that summer road readiness, and especially when you're on the move, right? So you're traveling, going on vacation, make sure that your car, truck, or van's good to go. $99.99, the road travel package for the summertime is good to go with my Joe Childers run CarX locations, 14 in all here in central Indiana. We're talking a synthetic blend oil change, coolant exchange, tire rotation, brake inspection, battery test, standard wipers, and you can also, for $19.99, get your AC checked out too. All things of importance, all things that they do to the absolute best. The Joe Childers run, 14 central Indiana CarX locations. Tell Joe that I sent you, and to find it online, that's CarX.com today.
Indianapolis. At Geico, our employees' careers matter to us.
We're starting a family, so benefits matter to me.
You got it, Anna. Geico offers a comprehensive benefits package and paid parental leave because family matters. Your hopes and dreams matter. Even your morning coffee routine matters.
You know what they say. Live, laugh, half-calf macchiato, extra whip.
When it comes to your career, what matters to you matters to Geico. We're now hiring claims, sales, and customer service agents. Apply today at careers.geico.com/Indianapolis, and let's get growing.
Hubler has all the top brands: Chevy, Buick, GMC, Ford, Acura, Honda, Mazda, Nissan, and more. And every new vehicle includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to sell your vehicle? We'll pay you top dollar, even if you don't buy ours. Take it from Brooke Hubler.
You can get a car anywhere, but you can only get a warranty like this at Hubler. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Visit drivehubler.com. Warranty available on new vehicles except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. Copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
He taught you how to ride a bike, to always listen to your mother, and how to behave when watching sporting events.
Holy shit, he traveled. He traveled, and you know he traveled.
Now it's time to say thanks, Dad. Take him to a night in the fan cave, June 22nd at the Indiana Historical Society. Eating, drinking, and talking sports with your favorite fan hosts. What better way to say thanks to dear old Dad? Tickets at 1075thefan.com. The Ride with JMV.
It takes him a second to get on the stool because he's under 5 feet tall.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
That was Golden setting the pace. Talks Pacers draft and more. Coming up at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. Everybody's doing a great job in there. I am giving them Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live a little bit of insight on my presentation tonight. The third of 3 inside the Fan Cave. A night of the Fan Cave, Indiana Historical Society. Like Rex Hampton just asked me via Twitter a little bit earlier if tickets are still available. I would imagine that if you want to go last minute, give it a try. Get those tickets online, 1075thefan.com. We'd love to see you there. Hey, Sean, not of me. of somebody else. You guys will dig it, I promise. So Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live, Facebook Live as well. Kevin Bowen's going to be a part of it. Both he and Jake Query from the morning show get things started tonight. Larceny Bourbon Lounge. I got to thank both Brent Halverson, Randy Strand. Always the best. Heaven Hill Distillery, Larceny Bourbon with the Larceny Bourbon Lounge. The title sponsor, my friends at Forum Credit Union. What would I do without their financial advice, which is the absolute best? So thank you, Forum Credit Union, for being the title sponsor, and my friends at Connecticut Water, Joe and John, for the absolute best and being a part of that and sponsoring my segment tonight. Thank you, guys. Really awesome. Hey, Ryan Thomas, I probably shouldn't say too much, but I have no idea why that would be acting that way. But I wish I could do something about that, brother. But I appreciate you listening. I wish I could do something about it. They're like a bunch of people going, what are you talking about? But I appreciate you, Ryan Thomas, asking. The sad news today is Tony Siragusa, the former Colts defensive lineman. 1990 through 1996, he was an undrafted free agent out of Pittsburgh and was the springboard of what you have come to expect and gave you that first taste of a playoff run in the NFL around here back at the end of the 95 season. Tony Siragusa passed away at the age of 55 earlier today, which is incredibly sad news. We got that. We got Pacers draft tomorrow. I'm going to be at the District Tap beginning at 3 o'clock. I'd love to see everybody up there. I know I'm going to see you guys tonight, but can you turn around and go to the District Tap tomorrow? We'll get you set for the NBA draft at the District Tap on the north side coming up tomorrow. Cannot wait to see you. Meantime, 239-1070. Bill's on the show today. Welcome. Bill, how are you?
Hey, man, doing great. Looking forward to being in the man cave tonight.
Yes.
And I'm going to make my way up to the District Tap tomorrow.
Yes.
There's no better way to fight this heat than do it with Larceny.
You got that right.
In the District Tap.
You remember this drink, and the best drink of a hot summer day is Larceny Bourbon and some ginger ale in that bad boy. Just fill that thing with ice and go to work.
Man, you were reading my mind. That is going to be the go-to thing. But it is so sad about Tony Siragusa. And I mean, I didn't know him, but I used to hang out at the Ale Emporium up on Township Line Road, and he used to come in, and he was just a friendly guy, you know. And the thing about it was there were no cell phones. What would it have been like if Tony Siragusa would have been walking around with a cell phone?
Right.
I mean, they would be instant classics. But yeah, the guy that really was the one that made defensive coaches take a look at the 3-4 because he was so dominant in there. And really, that defense. If you want to talk about that team and how close they actually got to get into the Super Bowl, but the Colts really put that team together with undrafted free agents, undrafted this. They got Turner, they got from Chicago, and he was Harbaugh's big target, and drafted Marshall Faulk. He didn't work out. Still got Zach Crockett to do the job. There's a lot of things that was falling apart.
That Zach Crockett game in San Diego was absolutely incredible. That's a game of legend still today.
That's what it was, 2:33, and he went over the goal line this one time doing this little dance, and that was so sweet to be watching that. But yeah, rest in peace, Tony Siragusa. I'm gonna lift the first Larceny drink to you tonight, my friend.
You got it, Bill. I can't wait to see you, Billy. Night of the Fan Cave today, District Tap coming up tomorrow. Yeah, that 95 season, that Charger game, honestly, if you're my age, think about that. And I know that we have had many a Manning game, maybe even a couple of luck performances that have taken over as some of the greatest of all time, according to you. But to me, I put that Chargers-Colts game in the wild card round. December 31st, 1995. I would put that on the greatest games of all time for the Colts, for me. That was pretty awesome. Did the Chargers not go to the Super Bowl the year prior? That's Stan Humphries. Did I play NFL 95 and use the Chargers with Stan Humphries and Tony Martin? And the play call every single time was QB Waggle. Did you ever use the QB Waggle? QB Waggle was can't miss. Stan Humphries and Tony Martin. Anybody ever play that? I think it was NFL 95 for that. Was not. When did they go to the Super Bowl? The Chargers. Got beat by the 49ers. The year prior? Then what, 94 season? Was it before? I can't remember then. I thought that they went and lost to the 49ers. QB Waggle, everybody. See, Chargers were they 9-8 that year when they met in the wild card? Yeah, anyway, Tony Siragusa was, he was a good player, but he was an incredible character. Am I right?
Yeah, I was looking at 80. My brain, I was looking at 85, not 95.
See, that's just working with me. Has taught you to go immediately to the decade
49ers,
of the
49, Chargers, 26.
Gotcha.
Super Bowl.
That's what I thought. And that was the year prior, right? The year prior, Super Bowl. So, Stan Humphries, Tony Martin, QB Waggle. Does that play etched in stone? Use that all the time. Hey, JMV, I heard the news regarding Siragusa on your show and had to share a comedic memory. The Colts used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. Back then it was BW3 in Broad Ripple during the Monday Night Football since they were never playing. Many starters in attendance, including Siragusa, Harbaugh, etc. One Monday, Paul Justin left his chicken sandwich at the table while he went to get condiments. Siragusa decided to add his own special flavor to the sandwich. Fortunately, Justin got back prior to Siragusa wiping, his rooster on the chicken. Great. How did we miss that? That might be a story for the Man Cave coming up later on tonight. Inside the Fan Cave, I'll tell the rest of that one, I guess. Thank you, Anthony Childress. Natron Means also on that 94 team. That is well done right there. Well done, everybody. Hey, Mark, get in here before the break. Hello.
Yeah, JMV. Looking forward to tonight at the Fan Cave.
Good. I'm glad you're going. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious. One name, with all the speculation about the Pacers and trades, I'm just kind of curious if he's still under contract, why we're not trying to throw in like TJ Warren.
He is not. He's a free agent. So
thank God.
Yeah, he is a free agent. So everybody's assuming you have seen the last of TJ Warren, which has been forever. And it's funny because you look back at that bubble year that was at the end of July a couple of years ago. Remember, he put up 53 against the Sixers in that first game, was incredible in the bubble, and basically nothing since.
He was first team All-NBA bubble team.
He was, and that's going to be his legacy here, unfortunately.
Yes.
So, Mark, I appreciate you. I'll see you tonight. Mark is going to be at a night of the Fan Cave, Indiana Historical Society, coming up later on tonight. I promise you a blast, and it will be sad news today. Tony Siragusa passes away at the age of 55. NBA draft conversation specific to the Pacers after 5 from Setting the Pace. Alex Golden joins us. This is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Indiana Pacers and JMV inviting you to attend the 2022 Gold on the Clock Draft Party, June 23rd, presented by Corona. The District Tap on the north side from 3 to 6 p.m.
Hi, it's Bob from Royal Spa. Soaking in a hot tub full of Epsom salts is the absolute best way to minimize everyday aches and pains. And we know all about Epsom salts at Royal Spa. Royal Spa hot tubs are the only hot tubs on the market that can safely and effectively use Epsom salts. Made right here in Indiana, Royal Spa hot tubs are the highest quality hot tubs on the market. Visit any one of our 3 Indianapolis locations or visit royalspa.com.
Ah, Royal Spa.
It's John for Indiana's Best. Andy Moore, Buick GMC, 131st, State Road 37. It's in Fishers. The GMC Acadia is an awesome vehicle, especially for you and your family. And if you have kids and your kids have friends, it is essential. It is. They got the inventory right now. Eric Wilson is the guy I want you to talk to. Tell him I sent you and have he and his staff go to work for you on a great deal. The best car buying experience anywhere is at one place. Tell him I sent you to Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st, State Road 37 in Fishers.
I'm a jewelry designer on the team at Shane Company. And yes, we're the place for beautifully crafted classics. But we're also excited about our new styles. Here's some of our favorites. First off, our new opal pendant. It's absolutely gorgeous. The play of color on the stone is just mesmerizing, and it's the perfect centerpiece to layer with chains. Next, our zodiac charms, accented with diamonds. Add them to a necklace with other charms to tell your story. You'll love our stud earrings in aquamarine, the color of the moment. With the diamond halo, the serene blue really stands out. Another super stylish option, our gemstone by the yard necklace. Choose either London blue topaz, amethyst, or peridot. We have matching bracelets too. Last but not least, our new jewelry collection with pepper diamonds. These styles feature uniquely shaped diamonds with streaks of black. They're just so cool. You've got to see them. Come in and see what's new.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
O'Reilly. Stay cool this summer with AC Pro Refrigerant and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get a $15 O'Reilly Auto Parts gift card after mail-in rebate, plus earn double O Rewards points with the purchase of select AC Pro Refrigerant products. Beat the heat before you hit the road with AC Pro Refrigerant at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Bowling, 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 keep them balls a-rolling. Bowling, bowling, bowling. Royal Pin.
Royal Pin Entertainment is the place to be. They have 3 locations in Indy, plus enjoy mini golf, laser tag, and arcades. Visit the Royal Cafe, stocked with a full menu of all the essentials, and 2 full-service bars at each location. Royal Pin Centers are perfect for family outings, an evening hangout, or date night. It's easy. Just reserve your lane online at royalpin.com to skip the line. For more information, call 465-8484 or visit royalpin.com.
Set 'em up, knock 'em down, send them flying, spinning round.
Call 465-8484 or go to royalpin.com.
Royal Pin. Bowling, bowling. Royal Pin. Bowling.
Experience the first annual IKEA Midsummer Celebration this weekend. Join us on June 24th to the 26th for food samplings, great offers, and more. And as an IKEA family member, you can save $20 in store when you spend $200 or more pre-tax and scan your IKEA family card. Visit IKEA-USA.com/midsummer for more information and to plan your trip to your local store starting June 24th. Offer valid 6/24 to 7/4 in the U.S. Discount applied proportionally across items purchased as shown on receipt. See store and IKEA-USA.com/midsummer for complete terms. Exclusions apply.
It's Johnny from the Low T Center, the Low T Center, and it's not just about testosterone. It is also about men's wellness, and that's what they do for you. They check absolutely everything at the Low T Center. It is simple, it is affordable, and they have convenient options for treatment, including monitored self-inject treatment that ships directly to your door. So make your health a priority and schedule your annual health assessment at Low T Center today. It's covered by most health insurance for less than $100 cash pay if you decide to go that route. It's lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
The largest bourbon event in Indiana is back. Big Red Liquor's Bourbon Expo and Rare Bourbon Lottery is Saturday, July 9th, 1 to 4 at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Tickets on sale now for 400 plus bourbons to sample, plus Rare Bourbon Lottery. Get your tickets now, bigredliquors.com. Must be 21 to enter.
Do you need air conditioning service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust, like B&W Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning? Find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Who will the Pacers select at the NBA draft? Tomorrow night at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
This will be the high point of my day. It's all downhill from here.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Night of the Fan Cave is coming up tonight. Hopefully I see everybody there. Jay, who I believe Jay is down in Jackson County, right, Jay? Jay says, why do you like this hot weather? 90s suck. I'm just tuning in. I don't know why. I guess it's because I just like the summer. And summer has always meant to me, either being this hot or being inside of the AC or around the pool or whatever. This is what it's meant to me. I've had a lot of fun in this type of weather. So that's what you would tend to gravitate to as far as what you like. Like, I would take this over incredibly freezing cold temperatures. And really, I mean, even if it's raining in the upper 30s, I think that sucks too. Or most of November and early December. Or all of November, all of December, all of January, all of February, most of both March and April. Now, Blake and I were going over the months the other day of what we liked. Hey, BT, you would seem accurate with that. Yes. That makes me laugh, BT, but that's true. That's true. Ben writes this. Didn't Goose go on Bob and Tom during his contract holdout and take a fan vote on whether or not he should report? Yeah, he had issues. That final season, he did not like, I believe he didn't like Lindy Infante, the new coach that took over for Marcia Broda, and did not like Bill Tobin. He ultimately moves on to the Ravens and then won a Super Bowl title. Tony Saragusa passed away today, the former Colts defensive lineman at the age of 55. And we have been talking about that. Indeed, Jay is in Seymour, Indiana. That is Jackson County. Jay's a good dude right there. Thanks for listening down in Jackson County, the home of John Mellencamp. Now, I will say this. I had an hour-long conversation earlier today with Kenny Aronoff. It was awesome. Kenny Aronoff, 17 years as the Mellencamp drummer. Went on tour back in 98 with Billy Corrigan and Smashing Pumpkins. He took over for Jimmy Chamberlain, I think, on that tour back in 1998. Most recently was with John Fogerty. He's not going to be with Fogerty when Fogerty is here for the All-In Fest on Labor Day weekend. He is on the road with Joe Satriani. So Joe Satriani and Kenny Aronoff together. But we just went an entire hour, and it was awesome. And I'll have that for you to be able to listen to at some point, but it was awesome. Kenny Aronoff, by the way, is also playing in Jim Irsay's band. Kenny Aronoff, Mike Wanchek, still with Mellencamp. I think Mike Mills was with REM. I think Mike Mills is a part of it. Occasionally, Stephen Stills is also in that. And I don't know if I should say anything. I think I know when and where they're going to be next, but I haven't got the okay to say much on it. But it was awesome. We talked about shows. He performed a show at the IU Auditorium with Mellencamp backing that tour back in 1983. And I remember sitting below, we were talking about, because the upper deck of the IU Auditorium, the balcony was bouncing like a diving board, and pieces of the ceiling or like plaster was falling down on your head below. That, and then one of the, at least for us, infamous Little Five weekends at Memorial Stadium. They played there. Now, we talked about the concert footage, the video they shot of Check It Out back in December of 98 at Market Square Arena. And then so many videos that you saw back in the days of MTV, so many videos that were shot at recognizable spots in central and certainly in southern Indiana. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. So I'll have that. Kenny Aronoff, just one of the greatest drummers of all time. I'll have that for you at some point. It was an hour-long conversation. We could have been there for 3. That good. All right, quick break, and we shall return All right, more on the Pacers draft coming up tomorrow night at number 6. A lot of rumors out there. One is that they're going to stay at number 6. Will it be Murray? Will it be Mathurin? Who will be there at number 6 if they stay? Are they able to move Malcolm Brogdon? That and more. Alex Golden of Setting the Pace joins us next.
Who's it gonna be?
Purdue's Jaden Ivey.
You would think Jaden Ivey wants Indy.
1980s basketball, then don't draft Jaden Ivey.
Keegan Murray mentioned that he has met with Indiana.
Keegan Murray, to me, feels like a brand new, loaded, with all the options, Honda Accord.
Jabari Smith.
Mathurin feels like he could be a Jaguar.
Chet Holmgren. Paulo Banchero.
Who's next to wear the blue and gold? Find out tomorrow on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, it's the best water.
My name is Kayla Cinders, and I work for Gleaners Food Bank. I am a local service manager for 3 counties in our 21-county service area, and I nominated Katie.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are proud to support Hoosier charities that use their vehicles to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
My name is Katie Wilkerson. I pick up at the mobile food pantries. The best part of volunteering to hand someone some food and see the smile on their face, the relief. Without my vehicle, there's no way I'd be able to do this. To go to any of the pantries, it's at least 18 miles.
Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides all of our Do More winners with free vehicle maintenance for a year. Because now at Jiffy Lube, our trained technicians do more to keep vehicles like theirs and yours on the road. Brakes, tires, batteries, and more. As well as Indiana's favorite oil change since 1985.
If you know a volunteer who impacts your community, nominate them today to receive a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Just click the Do More tab at JiffyLubeIndiana.com.
Hey, here we go. The best water possible is Connecticut. And a shout to Joe and John for sponsoring my segment tonight in the Fan Cave. It is going to be spectacular, and I always tout them because I love the fact that I have Connecticut. They give me the best water possible. I live on a well. Can you imagine the difficulty in giving me the best water? But they absolutely do that, and I tell you, if they can do that for me, they can do that for you. Now, one of the essentials of having the best water is making sure you maintain that level of salt in your system, and oftentimes, if you're like me, you forget. But not with the Kinnick Salt Monitor, because it will tell you when you are ready for a bag of salt. When you're ready for an addition, it will tell you to your smartphone. The Kinnick Salt Monitor, right now, half price. All you got to do is mention my name. The Kinnick Salt Monitor, half price with my friends at Connecticut. Just mention my name. Northeast Side Castleton, South Side US 31 and Southport Road. The Connecticut Water app. Download that to your smartphone or device today or online. ConnecticutND.com.
Circle K is America's thirst stop. And yours, especially when the weather gets... and you need to stay refreshed on the go with ice-cold Circle K favorites like freshly ground iced coffee, Froster, Polar Pop Cup, and more. Think of it as the ultimate thirst-quenching, totally rehydrating summer splash zone. When life's go, 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 make us your first stop. Because Circle K is America's thirst stop.
All right, I stunk. I stunk at sleeping. I did, because of snoring. Snoring absolutely hijacked my nightly bed rest. And I tried different things. Nothing worked until a couple of former Hoosier basketballers, Brian Evans, Dr. Steve Green, said, hey, try the Aurora Specialty Sleep Clinic. And I said, all right, tell me all about it, fellas. And they broke it down. They said, we have this simple and affordable mouthpiece. You wear it at night, and it will stop your snoring. I tried it, and it did. I get incredible bed rest. I am a smiling, happy person every single day for 3 hours, thanks to the bed rest I get and the Aurora Specialty Sleep Clinic. If you struggle with snoring, if you know somebody that does, let's do something about it, something finally legitimate. And log on, stopyoursnorenow.com. Check out the Aurora Specialty Sleep Clinic today. Get that private consultation. Stopyoursnorenow.com.
Hey, tennis fans, with the BetRivers.com sportsbook app, you can smash, slice, and spin your way to big tennis paydays. That's because we're serving up the excitement of live in-game betting, where you can bet on all the action, including point-by-point betting from tournaments around the world. Plus, with BetRivers' award-winning customer service, it's game, set, and match. Download the BetRivers.com sportsbook app. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21. Must be located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Post Malone, the 12 Carat Tour. The long-awaited event comes to Indianapolis. Gainbridge Fieldhouse, October 2nd. Post Malone. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. New album 12 Karat Toothache available everywhere.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
I'm out tomorrow. That means Jimmy is in, which always means the show is better. Let me go through my crystal ball. Talking about the NBA draft, and the Yankees will be thrown in there. Join Jimmy tomorrow.
The Ride with JMV.
This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Night of the Fan Cave is tonight, Indiana Historical Society. A lot of you have asked if you can just do a little walk-up. Now, you can walk up and use your smartphone and log on 1075thefan.com and get involved. The Night of the Fan Cave brought to you by Forum Credit Union. Thank you, Forum Credit Union. Thank you, Larceny Bourbon, Brett Halverson, Randy Strand, and, of course, Heaven Hill Distillery. And thank you, both Joe and John and Connecticut, for being a part of that with me tonight. I promise you a great time. Sad news today was the passing at the age of 55, former Colts defensive lineman Tony Siragusa. A sudden passing, as they describe it, at the age of 55. We were going over what he meant, and in particular, what that 95 season team meant. To the fans around here, the building of expectations, the excitement that comes with winning postseason games, which is, by the way, something they need to get around to doing again here sometime soon. But that was a springboard. That gave you a taste. It was a 3-week taste, but honestly, if you're a Colts fan and you certainly recognize it, remember it back in the day, it was pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Also, we got going on the NBA draft coming up tomorrow night. Speaking of that, tomorrow afternoon, District Tap for me on the north side. I'd love to see you out there. District Tap tomorrow, north side of Indy. And we'll get you set for the draft coming up tomorrow. As it stands right now, the Pacers will roll out number 6 overall. And to talk about that and then some on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he is from Setting the Pace. He's got the podcast and more. Alex Golden is with us. So it was simply put to me on Twitter a little bit earlier, and I happen to agree with this. Is this going to come down to just keep it simple? Matherin or Murray? Whichever is available right there from 5 to 6, and then see what you can do, if anything at all, with Malcolm Brogdon. Is that going to be tomorrow night for the Pacers in a nutshell?
Yeah, I think that's got to be the most likely possibility. I still wouldn't rule out trading up to 4, just because I feel like, from what we've heard report-wise, there's just such a massive gap between Ivy and the next set of players, is what we've heard from a lot of draft experts. So if the Pacers really believe in Ivy and think he's the guy and are willing to give up the amount of assets it'll take to get up there, then I wouldn't rule it out. But I think you're 100% right thinking that it's more likely going to be, take whoever's there at 6 and then try to get back into the lottery with Malcolm Brogdon.
So I think I read this, and you probably know it as well. The package that was explained, if there was just a chance for the Pacers to get up to 4 with a possibility to draft Ivy, and this is hypothetical, would include the 6, Brogdon and Duarte, is what I read. Would you be down with that?
I mean, I think I'd consider it. Really, the only person you really might be worried about losing there is Duarte, but at the same time, is he going to be a starter on this team if you do draft Jaden Ivey? Does he start or come off the bench? And at that point, I feel like the upside's a lot higher there with Ivy than Duarte. Nothing against Duarte. I think he's a really good, shooter, a guy that can defend pretty well. But, I would be okay doing that if I truly believed Ivy is that special talent that a lot of people believe he is. So, Brogdon, to me, I would be willing to move off from him easily in this deal. And then just moving off of 6 to 4, that's not a big deal. So really, it all just comes down to how much you value Duarte, and at 25 years old, I think Ivy's only 20, right? So you're talking about a 5-year age difference, which is massive in terms of, who you're trading up for. So I think that's why I would be okay doing it, just because of the age difference as well.
Wouldn't it, though, appear, and you can talk about Duarte in terms of being at the tail end of it, but then the appearance would be you traded 2 lottery picks to get up to 4 to draft Jaden Ivey? That all of a sudden makes it sound even more, right?
Yeah, but that's also what you're probably going to have to do to get up to 4. If you go out and trade Brogdon for 11, you'd probably have to package 6 and 11 to move up, right? So I think if you're looking at it from that perspective, 13 from last year and 6 from this year to get up to 4, I don't think it's necessarily as drastic as it sounds.
Think there's a possibility trading Brogdon for the 10 overall with the Wizards?
I might say there's a chance, but from what I've heard reporting-wise, it doesn't seem as likely as the Knicks, who have basically no other choices but to unless they offer some godly offer, which I don't even know if they have anything to offer the Kings to move up to 4 to get Ivy. Now they're looking at who are they going to go after point guard-wise. Obviously, with Thibodeau there, they really want to try to win. So I think Brogdon makes more sense from the Knicks for the Knicks and getting pick 11. But at the same time, if Bradley Beal opts into that huge contract, I know he opted out, but I mean, if he signs a new one, then you have to wonder, are they going to be interested in trading that as well? So I wouldn't rule it out. I think it's just more likely the Knicks pick is available.
I'd read this a little bit earlier. Take it for what it's worth, because we talked to Ryan Carr yesterday, and he said everybody's lying. So we're just assuming everybody's lying, and the guys that get information first and then pass it out are being lied to, and they're passing along fraudulent information. But this is from Brian Windhorst earlier in the day. He said that the Knicks have been unwilling to include the 11 pick in a trade for Malcolm Brogdon. So that's why I kind of went to number 10 with the Wizards, thinking that would take place. And then I would tell you this, Alex, if you go 6 and 10, if you're able to do that, I don't think you take a mystery swing at the unknown at 6, but then I think you might be able to think about that if that possibility looms at 10, if you're able to pull something like that off.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like for me personally, like I want Jaden Ivey number 1 if I can get him, but I like the idea of getting 6 and 10 because there's a lot of players I like. At 10, that could be there. And I think one of the most interesting thing is look at who the Pacers brought in for workouts. It's not a lot of players you saw in that 6 range. Anybody like Johnny Davis's, A.J. Griffin's, they're supposed to have Jeremy Sohan in and Dyson Daniels. Like a lot of those guys were considered reaches at 6 by a lot of people. So I think that their goal is to get into that lottery once again in that 10 to 13 range, preferably. That might be where the Knicks are at stance-wise now and saying, well, we're not going to give it up. But when push comes to shove, if they miss out on Ivy, then Brogdon's sitting there. Well, maybe the Pacers can offer Brogdon in the Cavs pick for next year, and they take that deal and move on. Maybe give him pick 31 as well. But yeah, I definitely like the idea of taking a swing there, and I don't think Shaedon Sharpe will fall past the Blazers, but if Shaedon Sharpe fell all the way to 10 and you're able to walk away with one of Mathurin or Murray and Shaedon Sharpe, I mean, that to me is pretty exciting.
Mathurin, Murray, and Sohan. If you were able to put a combination of 2 of those 3 players together in this draft, how would you feel?
Oh, I would feel great. Yeah, I think a lot of fans are really excited about the potential of, trading back and or getting back into the lottery and getting Sohan. I know that that's a guy that the Pacers, the workout did not happen because it got canceled with a medical issue. I think Scott Agnes reported that on his podcast, and then they still did a Zoom call though. So I think that there's interest there. It's no doubt in my mind that Murray is the preferred player between Mathurin and Murray for Indiana at 6, and I think there's a really good chance he is the pick at 6. Just hearing all the reporting about Mathurin with the Pistons. So, I definitely think those 3 players are some of the most exciting when it comes to who the Pacers could walk away with.
So Alex Golden setting the pace, the podcast. He's with us talking Pacers draft, NBA draft, and more on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Is it logical to suggest that maybe Oklahoma City could really throw a wrench into everything as far as all the assets they have, in particular here, the top 7, 8, or 9 picks in this draft?
Yeah, I definitely think they're a team to keep an eye on. I don't have a clue what they're thinking. Obviously, it's been reported they want Chet Holmgren at 2. I think that could be smoke. You can never trust what comes out when it comes to OKC because nobody expected Josh Giddey to go to them at 6 last year. So they're very good at keeping things hush-hush. It wouldn't surprise me if they took a swing on Boncaro at 2 and Holmgren fell. That's kind of where I'm feeling like things could happen with them just because they're so unknown. But also having that 12th pick in the draft plus future stuff, there's already been rumblings like the Pelicans could trade out of that pick if they don't like who's there. Maybe they trade up to try to get Shaedon Sharpe, someone that I think they have a lot of interest in as well. So, I think OKC is a big wild card come tomorrow night.
What kind of role do you think Charlotte will play? And, obviously they're dealing with something that the Colts fans remember a great deal with a coach that backed out at the last possible second, trying to find a head coach there. But they have a couple of picks. And again, these are in the pick frames that the Pacers have been very unsuccessful in the past, at least, middle teens, late teens of coming up with anybody. And I mean, anybody that's even rotational to play. So I don't expect them or think that they would trade back. But what about Charlotte trying to unload Gordon Hayward at the same time as these 13 and 15th overall selections in tomorrow night's draft?
Yeah, well, what's interesting is that the Pacers, if they would have gotten that Cavs pick, it would have been right around pick 16. So if they're able to make a deal with Charlotte and get pick 13 or 15, I think that is also enticing as well because clearly there's people that the Pacers like in that range. I don't know how the draft's going to fall. How there's always in that 7 to 14 range, it always kind of gets shaken up a little bit. So I think there's a possibility that does happen, and maybe somebody falls that they really like. And it's really interesting with Charlotte. They've got to pay Miles Bridges, and they're very worried about paying the tax. Obviously, I don't think they should be trying to pay the tax since they're not even a championship level team. But with Kenny Atkinson walking away, I think Brian Windhorst actually reported that just their unwillingness to spend and potentially his his longevity there as a coach could be short. So I just feel like that's why Atkinson walked away based on the reporting. So 13 and 15, they're good, not great picks, but any chance Pacers can get more assets to do stuff in this draft, I'm very intrigued by it, even if it would mean taking on potentially Gordon Hayward. Don't love it, but at the same time, I think this team should just go full in on this rebuild and not try to just, be somewhat competitive. I think they should just let the youth movement happen and grow from there because I think that's the best route for this team to get back to the top.
While I hear that, you think that Kevin Pritchard and Rick Carlisle are in a position to be able to wait this thing out that long?
That's a good question. I think if they got Herb Simon's approval to kind of tank last year, then maybe they'll get it for another season to get a chance at a generational talent of Victor Wembanyama. But at the same time, it's a hard sell. I think if they were to get Jaden Ivey, that they could potentially sell the rebuild a little bit more since he is a local guy. And he's a really flashy local guy as well, someone I think is going to be really good in the NBA. So you put those two together, I think you can really sell the fan base on coming out and supporting a team that's going through a rebuild. But I still think that the talent they have here, even if they keep Duarte, they've got Isaiah Jackson, Halliburton, whoever you draft. I think there's still a good enough core to get the fan base excited. Obviously, if they're losing a bunch, it's not going to be great towards the late of the season. But the best thing to do here is just continue to go through this process of rebuilding. I hope that Kevin Pritchard and Rick Carlisle are able to work through that and use this year once again as a developmental year, and then maybe next year go in a little bit more on trying to be competitive.
I think honestly, Alex, you look at what they're doing right now, and okay, the next year does look like that. There's, to me, and this is just my opinion, there's no way fans are going to hang around with, after 25 wins, another bad one followed by another bad one. No way. None. I've been around here too long to think that they're going to hang around. They just won't.
Yeah, but I think fans are also very frustrated with being stuck in the middle. Like, who wants to see a team win 38 games and be a play-in tournament team and get knocked out?
But if you're young and you're growing, I think that's understandable, right? I mean, they have done with this past year what a lot of people have wanted them to do for a long time. So you're still doing it. So there's no reason to get upset. I just think that if you go without seeing, recognizable, influence in winning and in progress, then you're going to have people check out. And I think they'll easily check out. And they could say that right now, but they will when that's happening.
Well, I know they checked out during the year. Trust me. I mean, it was hard to watch some of these games. Like, you're rooting for losses. It's just kind of weird, right? So it's one of those things where you're wanting to see development, but you're also wanting to see losses so you can better yourself for the future. But I will say this, from doing the podcast, I haven't seen the fan base as excited for the future of this team than right now. And come the trade deadline last year, I mean, it was just through the roof how many people were just, excited about seeing a change in direction this team is going. So I would say I think the organization can afford one more year of tanking, but I would say 3 straight years probably not. But basically a year and a half of tanking. I think the fan base, I think the organization could handle that for that period of time.
Is that the reason why we both? I don't know if you believe this or not, Alex, but maybe Miles stays around because there's a combination of. I do believe this, that they want to see him play with this particular group, but also because of that, because, if you end up trading him for, another prospect or something like that, then that does dictate that you're completely, going with that, what you talked about a little bit earlier, that rebuild where you could be stratospherically away from any type of confidence building, winning basketball for a long time. And I do think that the Pacers deep down inside understand that the fan base, they'd be teetering on just completely checking out altogether.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with Miles, it's a very fascinating situation because you have to look at it from his standpoint, which a lot of us don't really do when we go about talking about, should they trade him or not? If I'm Miles Turner, would I really want to sign an extension with a team that's had me in trade rumors for the last 5 years? Would I want to really re-sign for a team that's going through a rebuild? Even though there is reporting out there from Michael Scott on Hoopside that basically said Miles loves Indiana and wants to see what it's like with Halliburton, he's still not going to sign that long-term extension personally, because I think he wants to see what else is out there. I mean, he was visiting Dallas quite a bit. I know he lives there, but during the playoffs, like going to the games, I think seeing that playoff environment, like, would Miles really want to sign on here in the middle of his prime for a team that's going through a rebuild? Even though he could be a piece of a team that gets over the hump, I just wonder what he would prefer long term. So if you're the Pacers, you have to really consider that. Like, he's on that expiring. There's a chance you could lose him for nothing. I know he's coming off an injury, and he's been, a little bit injury prone the last couple of years, but you really have to weigh all those options as well as you could lose this guy for nothing if you don't deal him. So that's why I think there is some, legitimacy to the noise in terms of shopping him to a certain degree, but it has to be the right price. I will also say this. There's a lot of, speculation that they really want Jalen Smith back in Indiana. If they're trying to woo him here any way possible, they're going to be able to offer him playing time. Do you think, and I'm going to throw this back at you, JMV, do you think there's any chance that if they promise Jalen Smith some playing time, that could also play a factor in if they move Turner or not?
Well, I hate to do this to you. Can I answer a question with a question? We'll lob it back and forth here.
Yeah.
We saw, 2 months of Jalen Smith? Is he really that? You think he's really that? Or is there a chance that he was on a super sucky team? And that's how he played. Can he consistently be that? I mean, because we all sit around here, I guess, Alex, and talk about how, you got to have him back, sticks this and sticks that. And I hope that he's the truth. But is there a chance that he's not, and it was just a product of what this team looked like last year?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a fair point. That's a fair question to ask because, like you said, there was no purpose in winning, right? They were trying to lose games. They can say they weren't throwing them, but come on, we know what was going on here. We saw some of those games and some of the rotations that were made. It was pretty obvious what they were doing. They were trying to lose without, forcing a loss, right? But, I think Jalen Smith kind of surprised them. I don't think they expected that from him. He was buried on Phoenix's bench. And, they looked at trying to flip him after they acquired him in the Torrey Craig trade. And I believe it was Boston and Denver that were teams that were interested in maybe, going after him. So I don't know necessarily if he's a guy that is a long-term starter, but he was the 10th overall pick just 2 years ago. He's only 21 years old. So there's a lot of intrigue by his time, like his age fitting the timeline. So I can see why they want to at least see it for more than just those few months. I think he deserves a shot because he shot the ball particularly well, rebounded the ball well. I think he just needed a chance, and I really believe that he fit in well with this young group of guys. And we just had Isaiah Jackson on our podcast, and Jalen's been working out with the team the last couple of weeks. So I think that they're hoping that they can work something out.
What was the question you asked me to? Because I answered it with a question. Let's go back to that.
I was just saying, do you think there's any chance they look at maybe moving Miles if it could open up some playing time for a guy like Jalen Smith and maybe use that as a pitch in free agency?
This is going to sound incredibly vague. I don't mean it to, but yeah. I think that for them to trade Miles right now before seeing him with this group, I think it would take an offer that they simply can't refuse. I think it would be an impressive offer that they simply cannot refuse, because I deep down inside believe that they want to see Miles and what Miles can do with this group, and then make a decision after that. But I'd be shocked unless it was just an incredible offer where you got to go right now. I don't think they will.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm pretty 50-50 on what's going to happen with him. I feel very strongly that Brogdon's going to be moved, but when it comes to Turner, we've been hearing trade rumors for the last, 5 years probably. So it's one of those things where until it actually happens, I'm not going to believe anything. So the only thing that makes it does make it seem like it could be logical, like I said, is just the fact that he's on that expiring, and if he walks away, they don't get anything for him in return. Right. And that to me would just be silly on their part. So
you should just wait half a year, though. Don't you wait half a year?
You could, but at the same time, what if he gets hurt again? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the other factor. If he's healthy now, and you can say, hey, he's healthy, he's good to go, then that makes sense. And we joked about it a little bit last time I was on, talking about the DeAndre Ayton stuff, but that's the type of move I could see them making as well. Something like that, just using that cap space plus Miles to take on someone like Ayton, a young guy that might fit their future a little bit more, getting him locked up long term, and he doesn't have the same injury history as Miles. But yeah, I just think that's the thing. You just got to worry about Miles, because I think he missed how many games last year? 40 something.
Yeah, I know it's a foot situation too. It is.
And it's been a foot thing the last couple of years. And coming out of college, he had people talked about his running form. So I just wonder, long term, is he going to be someone you can rely on to stay healthy?
Well, and I mean, you also wonder this, if they would have been playing anywhere near meaningful basketball, if he would have played. Yeah. And I mean, you kind of wonder the same thing, I guess, a little bit, don't you, about T.J. Warren? Or do you think that dude is just done? I know he's a free agent, but do you think that dude is just toast? Is he just done? Or if there was, a hope at all, a sliver of opportunity for meaningful basketball, would we have seen either one of those guys?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think if there was, meaningful basketball to be played, we definitely probably would have saw Miles. The way this T.J. Warren stuff went, it was just kind of shocking. For him to miss the whole year, basically 2 years in a row, you have to realize something really bad probably is going on with his foot. I have no idea what the market's going to be like him for in the in free agency, but on paper, he's probably one of the better guys out there if he's healthy. So I can't envision him coming back on the Pacers, but I feel bad for the guy because he looked really good in that first year that he came here in 2020. Was really starting to figure things out defensively. Obviously we saw in the bubble him kind of take off. So, you feel bad for a guy like that was pretty much given to the Pacers for free because of the injury history. But, I think the Pacers, if they're smart, they could look to, maybe bring him back on a prove-it-year deal since they have the cap space and just see what you can get. And if he's something special, then maybe flip him later. Or maybe you look to do a sign-and-trade during the offseason as well with T.J. Warren. To maybe a team that doesn't have cap space but would be intrigued by adding him on there, and the Pacers can get some kind of small asset in it and maybe a potential trade exception as well.
Alice Golden of Setting the Pace on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Before I let you go, do you think that, looking back on it, had Cleveland won and the Pacers this season acquire that first-round pick, do you think that's going to end up being the difference between not and then legitimately having a shot to get up? If they do covet Jaden Ivey, is that going to end up being the difference?
I don't necessarily think so. I think it would have been the 16th overall pick more than likely. So I don't think 16-6 is probably good enough to get you up to 4, knowing on where they have these people tiered at. So for me, I think that it would have been nice for the Pacers to use 31 and 16 to maybe move up into the back half of the lottery, but I don't think it would have done anything to get you all the way up to 4. I think what is going to get you up to 4 is a proven player, maybe a guy like Brogdon and or Duarte, or just a future first-round pick from the Pacers, which that makes me a little bit nervous because, like we talked about, you know, their season next year could be another bad one. So I wouldn't want to give up anything for next year, but maybe a 2024 top 3 protected, something like that, to move up. That's the only way I can see it happening. Not a middle tier pick at pick 16.
All right. So tomorrow night, number 6. Let's just say, for the sake of this final question, they stay there. Who is it?
Man, Jamie, that's tough. I'm going to go ahead and just guess that Keegan Murray is the guy they get. I'm going to assume Jaden Ivey goes 4 and Benedict Mathurin goes 5 to Detroit. But if it's not Murray, then it's Mathurin. I think it's between those two guys. But I would be happy with either of those two players. I know some people are down on Murray, but I think that we're underselling him a little bit, JMV.
If it's Murray, there's going to be a lot of pressure on me for him to perform, much like Miles.
Yeah, you've been turning
into Miles Part 2 for me right here. Yes.
I appreciate you not flipping, though, because I was really intrigued by the mystery box of Shaedon Sharpe, and I still wouldn't be upset about that if they did go ahead and draft him. I would like to see what he could look like, but I just feel like Keegan Murray is going to be a good basketball player in the league. I really do. I just feel like he might not have the upside of some of these other guys, but I really do like his game.
Yeah, that's why if he is number 6, and when he comes on the show, that's what I'm going to say. I'm under a lot of pressure for you to perform.
Well, exactly. I mean, his college numbers are just through the roof compared to everybody else's. Yeah. Like he put up some god numbers. So.
Yeah, see, Miles is too old now to say that, and I say old in just in terms of he's not old, but how long he's been here. If I were to say that, he'd tell me to get bent, but I could probably still say that to Murray, and Murray go, "Oh, okay." So, yeah, I need you to perform. I'm under pressure for you to perform at a high level.
Yes, yeah, you will be. I know they'll be coming for you because there are a lot of Murray haters.
They will. Well, and here's going to be my nightmare is going to be if it's Murray and it's not Sharpe or not Daniels, and those two perform at a high level and Murray doesn't. That's when I probably have to start playing music here all the time. So yeah.
TJ Leaf all over again, right?
No, don't say that. You see, it's funny about the teens and those particular picks, and people have brought that up. Ryan Carr was on the show yesterday, and people have brought up, how lousy they have been with those picks. And I just look at it this way. I mean, it's not even been rotational. It's been lousy to the highest degree because these guys have added, those guys in those roles added nothing. Nothing until we saw Duarte for one rookie season. Nothing. So it's amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of pathetic, really. I mean, just
it is. It is.
Goga can barely see the floor. Aaron Holiday gets traded just a few years after. T.J. McCollum comes in and takes his spot. It's just kind of like part of the problem is where they're drafting and wanting to develop these guys, but not giving them the opportunity to develop. You're never going to get better if you're sitting on the bench all the time. I just no consistent minutes for Goga whatsoever. Like I get it. Like he wasn't good enough, but how is he going to get better if he's watching instead of playing? You're not going to get better by just watching somebody play. So they got to get that in-game experience, and that's why I'm hoping with the draft this year they just go all in and let these guys get that year to develop. Because look at how much fun we had watching like a guy like Dwayne Washington Jr., Isaiah Jackson just take steps this year in their rookie seasons. They don't get that if they don't get that opportunity to play on the court.
It's funny. I watching Memphis play. I had Desmond Bain on last Friday, and watching Memphis play, I remember I was all in on Brandon Clark. I can't remember which draft that was. I was all in on Brandon Clark, and everybody kept saying, well, he's 6'8", and he's a tweener, and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm watching this dude run around and hop around for the Grizzlies, and that was the Goga year. And I'm thinking, man, that guy and his energy, I don't care where it is. that's workable. And always with a good team right now, but wherever that is, it's workable. So I was all in on Brandon Clark, and they didn't listen to me there either. Then you start listening to me.
They need to, JMV.
Yeah, I tried to tell Ryan Carr, but yeah.
Well, you need to join them and then just come on the radio and share your big board and just mess everything up.
Yep, I am under severe pressure if Murray is drafted here for him to perform at a high level. Serious pressure. Hey, all right, setting the pace. It's up there too. You and who together?
Me and my co-host Mike Facci.
Okay, and who's your guest?
Oh, we had Isaiah Jackson on yesterday.
Nice.
And we also released a setting the pace draft preview podcast as well. So
awesome.
Pretty in-depth stuff there. But yeah, the Isaiah Jackson one was great. We've had Lance on and O'Shea Brissett on this offseason as well. So check those out if you haven't already. They're great interviews. Really cool guys.
All right, Alex. Appreciate you, man. We'll check in again after the draft.
All right, JMB. Thank you so much. Have a good one, man.
Alex Golden setting the pace. Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline. I'm way over. We'll get back with you next.
Mortgage interest rates have started to drop, but you need to get locked in today. Visit thehomeloanexpert.com, home of the 10-day closing guarantee. NMLS number 1326241.
Realizing Geico has over 85 years of experience saving folks money and providing great customer service is like realizing there's a crumb tray on the bottom of your toaster, and you don't have to keep turning the toaster upside down to clean it.
How long has that been there? Hey, who needs some croutons?
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or realizing that baby carrots are just regular carrots that have been shaved down.
I don't care. They're still cute.
It's something you can't believe you never realized before. Like how Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating means Geico is committed to providing the best service for their customers. Or how you can peel the top layer of tape off a lint roller and there's a fresh layer underneath.
Marcy, wait till you hear about the lint roller.
You mean how the handle is reusable?
Wait, what?
Trust. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
It is Jan here for Race Trash Service, the best in waste disposal and recycling. Racetrash.com. Sign up and get the best today. Plus, if you are looking to kickstart a new career as a driver, you have a commercial driver's license, then get to work with one of the best. Family operated since the 1960s. Great pay, incredible benefits. That's at Race Trash Service as a driver. Also, non-driving employment opportunities going down right now, too. It's a great company, so if you're looking for a new career, start it at Race Trash. That and the best in recycling and waste disposal. Find it online, racetrash.com today.
It takes everyone in the community working together to create a brighter future. Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Visit liveunited.org to learn how you can help.
Hey, it's JMV for the absolute best in realty. Mark Dietl Realty. 317-755-4232. That's 317-755-4232. Online, markdietl.com. That's markdietl.com today. So let's talk about Chris from Noblesville. They were ready to upgrade to a newly built home. They hired Mark Dietl and asked him to maximize the current home price so they could afford their new home. Mark gave them a plan to get the most money possible, and he pushed the price hard to get them $15,000 over a high asking price and plenty of time to get into their new home. Mark Dietl has a guarantee for you. Multiple offers on your home in 3 days, or he is going to list it for free. That's Mark Dietl Realty, 317-755-4232, 317-755-4232. MarkDietl.com. That's MarkDietl.com today.
If you're a window installer, keep it simple. Choose Anderson 400 Series windows. They're the clapboard windows contractors trust the most. So much so, they're the windows contractors trust for their own homes. And with fewer callbacks, the choice is simple. It's Anderson 400 Series windows, the windows contractors trust the most. Get started at AndersonWindows.com today.
Claims based on 2022 Anderson brand survey of U.S. contractors.
Hey, JMV here. Let's talk about testosterone. I'll start with me. I got a lot of it. You know, if you struggle in that capacity, I've got the folks that can help you. But you know what? I'm going to tell you more than just testosterone. I'm going to talk about your Wellness. Men's wellness all together, too. And that's where you want to go, and that's why you want to use the Low T Center. They exclusively specialize in men's wellness, not just your level of testosterone. It's absolutely everything. The Low T Center, affordable, convenient options for treatment, including monitored self-inject treatment that ships to your home. So, make your health a priority and schedule your annual health assessment at Low T Center today. Let's do it. It's covered by most health insurance or less than $100 cash pay. LowTCenter.com to book your appointment online today. That's LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
The largest bourbon event in Indiana is back. Big Red Liquor's Bourbon Expo and Rare Bourbon Lottery is Saturday, July 9th, 1 to 4 at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Tickets on sale now for 400 plus bourbons to sample, plus Rare Bourbon Lottery. Get your tickets now, BigRedLiquors.com. Must be 21 to enter.
The Ride with JMV.
And you can tell Rolling Stone magazine that my last words were, I'm on drugs.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, here's Dr. Feelgood, by the way. What do we got here? Avalanche Lightning tonight. Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final. You got to say final and not finals. You know that, right? Stanley Cup Final. Kyle's looking at me like I have no idea. I think Greg Rakestraw told me that once upon a time. Or maybe it was Bob Kravitz. Hey, JMV, did you see this? Terre Haute actually broke ground yesterday on the casino. Expect to see you there in a couple of years. The $240 million investment will include 1,000 slots. Be careful with that one. Both seem really cool, even if I were to mispronounce it. 1,000 slots, 50 table games, 125 luxury hotel rooms, 5 restaurants and bars, and Twin Spires sports betting. 5 restaurants? I'm telling you, Terre Haute was always the go-to. This is going to engrave it in stone. The go-to place in the state of Indiana, Terre Haute. I thought back in the early 90s, I thought that I kind of set it up for greatness with the parties I threw, but this is taking this next level. 125 luxury hotel rooms, 5 restaurants, and bars. Oh, but will you have a bar better than the Overpass in that thing? I did dig on the Overpass back in the day. That was it was a melting pot. You had Indiana Staters and Hoshians together, although, let's just say, Indiana Staters and Hoshians were basically the same thing, but it was awesome. The Overpass. But yes, Chuck, I will be there. I still love me some Terre Haute. Always have and always will. Trying to think, if that were open when I was over there at Indiana State, I was a considerable mess myself over there. How much messier might I have been if that would be available? I see this all the time, too. Like, I'm driving in Bloomington, and, where all the college kids live, I shouldn't say all, but most of, they live in these really nice looking, almost look like townhomes. I lived in, 3 of the biggest crap holes ever. I tweeted a picture out of a party that I threw in the early 90s over in Terre Haute when I was at Indiana State, and we had a closet door that you can notice in that picture. I was rocking Public Enemy t-shirt from their 1991 show, by the way, at Market Square Arena, but you could see I'd taken a closet door, a sliding closet door off, Kyle, and put it over the fireplace opening because the flue was broken and the snow was coming down through the chimney and landing in the floor and then melting and then dripping out into the floor. Seriously. Little house on the prairie. Charles Ingalls had a much better house in Walnut Grove than I did in Terre Haute, but I loved it.
I'm surprised you just didn't use old beer cardboard boxes.
Oh, we had
stuff them up in there.
Yeah, I had. You could see also on this picture, there's a stack of USA Today's. I clearly kept every USA Today. In the early 90s, there was like a stack of USA Today papers, and then there was a pyramid of Busch Light Draft and Old Milwaukee on the mantle. That was an addition. It was a touch of class right there to add the pyramid of Busch Light Draft and Old Milwaukee.
Distracts you from the snow on the ground.
Oh, it's beautiful. I loved it. But I would have been just an absolute mess. So the timing of this is right. So, yeah, in a couple of years. Is that going downtown, too? My good Hoshin friends, is that going downtown? Let me see where they broke that ground. If it says here, I do not see where it is. Terre Haute Mayor Duke Bennett said the city has been involved in casino discussions since back when the licenses had started to be issued. Shout out to Duke Bennett. Duke. I can't see where it's going to be. It should say that. Am I just missing it? They're calling it the new Queen of Terre Haute Casino Resort is what it's called. The $240 million investment in the TH. Broke ground yesterday. It's a good thing for my good friends over in Vigo County. Quick break and we'll come back. Final time. After the show, Kyle and I are going to head over to the Indiana Historical Society for a night of the fan cave. We are ready. We have loaded up and ready to go with our segment. We're the final segment. You've got the Larceny Bourbon Lounge. Take part in that. You've got food. And then we're all going to be entertained. And remember, maybe the best part of it is there is going to be a Q&A. So we're all going to get up on stage and sit in a circle. And then you in the audience will lob questions at us. That's going to be fantastic. That will, I promise you, be worth the price of admission. Just that alone. Is Jimmy's the moderator? What are you doing over there? What's your job?
I'm just starting off the show.
You're the hype man? So you're kind of like Michael Bivins and Belle Biv DeVoe. I dig that. You're kind of the hype guy. So you're going to hype it up. You're going to raise it up
and start it off.
And then Jimmy is the moderator.
He's moderating.
And make no mistake, he's going to do. We already talked to him. There's going to be no moderation. He's just going to take whatever you throw at him and ask it. Right? Well, I can't wait for that. That's going to be great. That is going to be worth it. But no, seriously, Forum Credit Union, a night of the fan cave. Thank you, Forum Credit Union. Thank you, Connecticut Water. Thank you, Heaven Hill Distillery. My good friends, Brent Halverson and Randy Strand, and Larceny Bourbon for being a part of that coming up later on tonight. Should be fun. The Indiana Historical Society, if you're thinking about getting tickets late, log on 1075thefan.com and see if you can get yourself in there. I bet you can. All right, back with you. Final time next.
Make sure you listen to The Ride with JMV this week. He'll give away tickets to see Post Malone at Gainbridge Fieldhouse on October 2nd.
Dave Matthews Band Live. This Friday and Saturday, Ruoff Music Center.
So much to say, so much to say, so much to say, so much to say. You were meant together, could do anything, baby.
Reserve seats on sale now at livenation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
Hey, it's JMV here for the best jewelry buying opportunity ever. It's going on at the incredible showroom of Diamonds Direct. Now, this is for a limited time. I'll explain in a moment. But right now, let's take advantage. You've got an anniversary, gift-giving idea. You've got a birthday this summer, or you are taking your relationship to the next level. And you've got to do this thing up big. It's got to be right. 5 years, 0 interest, nothing down. I'll give you a great example of it. So you can take an $8,000 engagement ring and pay just $135 a month for it. Do it up big for this incredible deal. 5 years, 0 interest, and nothing down going on right now at Diamonds Direct. Hurry in, though. This amazing offer, it ends on June the 30th. So the clock is ticking. Make sure you get in there at Diamonds Direct. Details, directions, and more. DiamondsDirect.com on approved credit. That's Diamonds Direct, Keystone at the Crossing.
Hey, tennis fans, with the BetRivers.com sportsbook app, you can smash, slice, and spin your way to big tennis paydays. That's because we're serving up the excitement of live in-game betting, where you can bet on all the action, including point-by-point betting from tournaments around the world. Plus, with BetRivers' award-winning customer service, it's game, set, and match. Download the BetRivers.com sportsbook app. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21. Must be located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Experience the first annual IKEA Midsummer Celebration this weekend. Join us on June 24th to the 26th for food samplings, great offers, and more. And as an IKEA family member, you can save $20 in store when you spend $200 or more pre-tax and scan your IKEA family card. Visit IKEA-USA.com/midsummer for more information and to plan your trip to your local store starting June 24th. Offer valid 6/24 to 7/4 in the U.S. Discount applied proportionally across items purchased as shown on receipt. See store and IKEA-USA.com/midsummer for complete terms. Exclusions apply.
The best in plumbing, Lance, local team, LD Smith Plumbing, JMV here. Listen, I know this for sure because I had a plumbing emergency once upon a time. 5 below zero, February, Sunday morning. I had to go bad, and we had no water. What was I going to do? Well, the only thing that you should do in this case, and that is call the absolute best, and that's Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing, 317-284-9526. I had water running by 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning. It's 5 below zero. That's who I trust with all of my plumbing needs, and you should too. And don't forget to ask about their main drain 83 or free visit. You'll love it. Best in plumbing, Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. 317-284-9526 online. That's ldsmithplumbing.com today.
At Eskenazi Health, our patients are treated with compassion and skill. That's why Eskenazi Health is looking for professionals who share our mission and are dedicated to serving the community. As an employee of Indiana's top hospital for social responsibility and community health investment, you'll enjoy excellent benefits, competitive pay, and unwavering leadership support. Learn more about Eskenazi Health Careers online at eskenazihealth.edu/careers.
As a Shane Company jewelry consultant, I see so many customers who have struggled to find a wedding band at other stores. When they come to Shane Company, they find the one. Not only do we have the widest selection of unique wedding bands, we are also experts at helping you find the perfect band to complement your engagement ring, even if it's an heirloom ring. You can play around with stacking bands, try contour bands, or just go with something simple. There are so many options. We also have handsome men's bands, hundreds of styles to choose from in every price range. You might have no idea what you want, but we'll take the time to show you different metal types, fits, and styles. You can even build your own with our online tool. And we offer a free lifetime warranty. Come see us and we'll help you both find a band that you love wearing every day. For some helpful tips, check out our online wedding band guide.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Thursday on Kevin and Query, it's NBA Draft Night. Scott Agnes joins us to talk about it, and we recap a night in the Fan Cave. Fun starts at 7, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
If somebody gets in your face and calls you a I want you to be nice.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
At JMV 1070 on Twitter. JMV, the Hope Casino security better be ready to catch my fellow Rose Holman Rain Man card counters over there. They'll be all over there in their sweatpants. Hadn't washed in about a week. Actually, that's not true now. Back in the day when it was all dudes, there was no washing going on in the 90s whatsoever. Early 90s, if you went to Rose Holman, you didn't have to have anything but sweatpants. That's how you were rocking it. You and your slide rule and your sweatpants. By the way, Dale informs me of this, that Casino and the TH will be out by the airport. So out by the airport it is. $250 million. A little card counting going on for my friends at Rose Holman. Be playing the percentages over there for sure. As I mentioned too, NBADraft.net, as it changes on a day-to-day basis now, up until tomorrow, has Keegan Murray going to the Pacers at number 6. Benedict Mathurin going at number 5. Jabari Smith, Chet Holmgren, Paolo Banchero, Jaden Ivey. That's 1 through 4 right there. Jake LaRavia of Lawrence Central, formerly of the TH himself, and of Wake Forest most recently. Jake LaRavia has him going 33 to the Raptors in round number 2. And by the way, just for the heck of it, 31 for the Pacers in round 2. That's Ryan Rollins from what they say. A 6'3 guard out of Toledo. And that'll change coming up again tomorrow. Speaking of that, tomorrow, we're going to be live for you at the District Tap. I would love to see you out there. If you can't, for example, make it tonight to the Night of the Fan Cave, I would love to see you. Love to see you tomorrow. John Matthews writes this. My first round table question would be, what's it like sharing a bathroom with Dan Dockage? As you well know, I tend not to share crappers. I don't share seats. I change seats. It's just something. I tend not to share crappers. Daniel Eads says casinos, much like the lottery, are a tax on people that are bad at math, so it should be a boom. Well, not out there, though. That's near Rose Holman. And they'll be easily, the dudes from Rose Holman will be easily identifiable because they'll be wearing sweatpants, and somebody will say, is that a slide rule in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me here at the casino? Shout out to the TH. I love you. You know that always. Hey, great job today, everybody. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. You guys are awesome. Facebook Live, too. The stream, the app. 93.5, 107.5. The HD Radio, 93.1. HD Radio 2. Great day. Alex Golden setting the pace. Kevin Bowen. We'll see him coming up. Next stop, a night in the Fan Cave. Brought to you by Forum Credit Union. Forum Credit Union. Larceny Bourbon, which is Heaven Hill Distillery. Connecticut Water. We're coming at you. The Indiana Historical Society. I would love to see everybody there. R.I.P. the Goose. More on that story tomorrow as well. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Have a great night. See you in a bit.